Friday night football greetings from Hamilton Schultz Stadium in West Memphis, Arkansas. It is time for Benton Panther State Playoff Football. Tonight the Benton Panthers have made the drive to the Delta near the banks of the Mississippi River for a Black Friday state semifinal date with the West Memphis Blue Devils. Benton comes in 9-2, fresh off a thrilling come-from-behind 38-37 victory over Jonesboro. West Memphis enters tonight's game with a spotless 11-0 record on the heels of their 34-6 win over Pine Bluff last Friday night. Tonight's game is a rematch of a quarterfinal round matchup from last season, which saw the Blue Devils score 18 unanswered fourth quarter points to break a 21-21 tie and win 39-21 on a brutally cold, windy night. I'm Jim Gardner, joined on the Everett Buick GMC Panther pregame show by Terry Benham, John Penn, Dio Vanucci, and the number one fan of the Benton Panthers, Freddie Reinhardt. Tonight's broadcast of Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride and Fidelity Local 6 is brought to you by the Benton Panther Football Network. Panther football is presented by Everett Buick GMC. Panther football is sponsored by Black Corley, Owens & Hughes, Bethel Smiles Dentistry, Jones Heating and Air, Cornerstone Home Lending, Farmers Bank and Trust, ACDI, Allied Glass, CDI Contractors, Smith Caldwell Pharmacy, Benton Eye Care, Saline Memorial Hospital, Congo Fireplace and Patio, the City of Benton, First Security Bank, State Senator-elect Kim Hammer, and Ashby Funeral Home. And guys, boy, it seems like it wasn't so long ago we were here and we're back, and the stakes, Terry, bigger than ever. State semifinals and a date in the state championship game awaits.
Man, I'll tell you what, this is a big game, and you can tell by the players that they're ready for this game. Both sides looking very loose in pregame warm-ups. It feels like a title fight, you know? It's very good, and of course it's always good to be back in the boom box. But this time we don't have the gale force winds, and we may still need the rappelling ropes. But it's a good time to be back in West Memphis.
Fortunately, the rain has stopped over here in eastern Arkansas. And, John, no better way to spend the day after Thanksgiving than with a little high school football.
Yeah, it would have been great to have been at home tonight. And be able to share this experience at the Palace. But you know what? Being on the road at Thanksgiving, it's become a little bit of a tradition for us. We've been to a lot of Final Four appearances in the last half decade, and only one of those has been at home. So this is something that we're used to. And, hey, look, Benton is known for being a big-time winner on the road, winning big games on the road. It's something that's been happening at this program for a long time.
Last week in the 6A state playoffs, the Panthers knocked off Jonesboro 38-37 in a game we will never forget. What a come-from-behind win by the Panthers last week. West Memphis knocked off Pine Bluff 34-6. Greenwood defeated Searcy 35-0, and Sylvan Hills pulled the shocker last week, knocking off Marion 17-14. So that sets up the semifinals tonight. The Panthers here at West Memphis, and Sylvan Hills has gone to West Arkansas to play Greenwood, with the winners meeting a week from tomorrow at high noon at War Memorial. Guys, there's your Final Four.
Yeah, and I think this is probably the game that everybody's going to want to watch tonight. I think Greenwood at home against Sylvan Hills, they're going to be a very heavy favorite. This is a game people don't really know what to think about, and it's a very, very interesting matchup.
Terry, last week the Panthers looked dead in the water to start the fourth quarter, down 28-16 to Jonesboro. Benton outscored the Hurricane 22-9 in that fourth quarter. And what a job by Colin Morrow, the senior, coming in relief late in that ball game, 7 of 7 passing and engineering the Panthers to the win.
Well, man, it was a very big night, but certainly a big night for our seniors, and making sure that they didn't lose their last game at Panther Stadium. And, you know, I can't say enough about big plays when the team needed them. None bigger than senior quarterback Morrow stepping in and leading the tying and the winning drives for the injured Garrett Brown. And, John, I mean, when you look, I mean, you've had a son that was a senior with a good group of seniors, and to see all of those guys kind of pull together, that was kind of one of the first times that we had seen what we always talk about as senior leadership right there on the field.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for tonight. You got to do it again. You know, it was a great moment. It was a great win, and we got to continue that. But now we know what these seniors are capable of, and we know who our leaders are going to be. We're going to be without one of them tonight on the defensive side of the ball. But I think these other guys are going to step up and be able to pull the weight.
One guy that stepped up last week was Zach Wallace. It was sure good to see him back out there on the field, rushed for 66 yards, caught 5 passes for 59 yards, and Zach rushed for 133 here last year against West Memphis. Let's talk about some of the standouts against Jonesboro. And how about Kelby Caffrey? 3 interceptions. Boy, you had the interception that led to the go-ahead score late in that ball game. 10 tackles. Cameron Ross, another big night. 18 tackles for the Panthers. He leads the team, leads all of Saline County with 118 on the season. Of course, we talked about Colin Morrow, 7 of 7 passing, and he will get the start at quarterback tonight. Michael Allison, another big game receiving, 6 catches, 97 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And another senior, Garrett Body, 3 catches, 91 yards, 2 scores.
The absolute hardest thing, Terry, I think we've ever done in the booth together was pick MVPs last week.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because it was I mean, you look at this list. I mean, these are like game of the year MVP standouts. You had 5 Landers Award finalists on one team in one game last week, opinion, with the way those 5 guys played.
Well, you know, Morrow has had so many injury challenges, and to see him step back in when his team needed him and then deliver, I mean, that's a great story in and of itself. But how about Allison and Body really, really stepping up and making big plays? Allison having one of the best catches that we've seen all season. And then Kelby Caffrey with a huge monster game with 3 interceptions, one of which basically set up the winning score. And, man, just a big night from some of those guys.
And saw Kelby play a little receiver in the heavy package last week. Look for that. Again tonight, Kelby with 1 catch for 36 yards offensively last week as well. So Benton and West Memphis meet tonight for the 12th time all-time. The Blue Devils hold a 7-4 advantage in the series. This will be the 5th time these teams have met in the playoffs, and West Memphis has won all 4 of the previous meetings. So that's a streak that we want to see broken tonight. The last time Benton earned a win over a West Memphis team was back in 1980 when the Panthers knocked off West Memphis 14-10 right here at Hamilton Schultz Field.
Yeah, I know a few guys that were on that team, and that was a huge win. I believe was that the year that our good friend Stan May came to Benton? Yeah. So there you go. And he's probably listening at home tonight. So shout out to our friend Mama May and Daddy May.
Out there at the family farm.
Family farm, yeah.
Terry?
Well, you know, this is 2 different teams for different reasons, but equally matched, I think. And you know, Benton has had a size advantage in most of the games this year, but not tonight. This defensive front that we're going to face, we'll talk about this a little bit after the break, but this defensive front is as good as anybody we've seen and as big as Bryant.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to see a real fight tonight, and hopefully our Panthers are going to be prepared.
Let's take our first commercial break, and when we come back, Dio Vanucci will visit with the head Panther, Brad Harris. This is Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride and Fidelity Local 6.
Hey, Panther fans looking for a local dentist that cares? Look no further than Bethel Smiles. Benton native and Panther alum Dr. Justin Bethel and his staff are pleased to be back serving the community where it all began. Bethel Smiles is a full-service dental office, treating all ages and proudly offers the lowest cost braces in town. We realize at Bethel Smiles that your time and your teeth are precious, so most procedures can be performed the same day. So save time, save teeth, support local business, and schedule with Bethel Smiles today. Call to schedule your appointment at 501-778-4746. Bethel Smiles is a proud supporter of Benton Athletics.
Ashby Funeral Home has been family-owned and operated, serving Benton and Saline County since 1882. Through 5 generations, Ashby Funeral Home has cared for families through compassionate and professional service. Ashby's provides all types of services for families in times of loss and grief. Their aim is to treat every family as they would treat their own. Ashby Funeral Home is located at 108 West Narrowway Street in Benton, and their phone number is 501-778-2544. Ashby Funeral Home, proud supporters of Benton Panther football.
Saline County is one of the fastest growing areas in the entire country. The state's best schools, thriving businesses, family-friendly communities, and the great outdoors combine to make our home both exceptional and uniquely local. At Saline Health System, we deliver care that's as extraordinary as our home. With the most advanced technology and a team of doctors and nurses who know you by name, we're here to provide the care you deserve. Because around here, local is always extraordinary. Saline Health System.
At Farmers Bank and Trust, our commitment is and always will be to the community. Our loan officers are your supporters, your cheerleaders, your fans, your neighbors. And we're proud to cheer on our Benton Panthers. For more information on Farmers Bank and Trust, stop by our conveniently located office or visit myfarmers.bank.
Giovanucci here with head coach Brad Harris. All right, Brad, this is a big deal. Second year in a row we traveled to West Memphis. Last year was in the second round. This time we're in the third round, the semifinals. So one game left to make it to War Memorial. We're facing an 11-0 West Memphis team coached by Billy Elmore, who called Benton good but not great. So I don't know if the team has seen that article, but what's the attitude in the locker room? I know yesterday we had the Thanksgiving practice in here, and it seemed like a pretty upbeat practice, but you've seen this team all year. Where are their heads at right now?
Well, Dale, I thought last week we had a great week of practice and everything going into the Jonesboro, and I thought we started a little sluggish, but this week has been very similar to last week's practice. We had a really good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then yesterday it was a short run-through type setting. So, I think our minds are in the right place, and I think they know what's at stake and everything. They should. We've emphasized it enough in practice and our meetings and everything. It's like I told them, I said, we feel like we owe these guys. They eliminated us in week 2 last year, and we're playing a really good team, and if you can't get up to play a undefeated team in the semifinal round, there's something wrong with you, this time of year. You're not a true football player, but so these guys, I think we know what's at stake, and it's going to be a big ball game for us, and it's going to be a tough ball game because we know that West Memphis is really talented. But, as an overall, we've had a good week, real proud of where we're at.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that talent. What are we going to see out of them offensively? I know they've got a big-time receiver, number 25, Allaway is, I think, the last name, a guy with a lot of speed. Watching film, he looks pretty dangerous. He scored 3 touchdowns against Pine Bluff last week. What are we going to see out of that offense in general?
Well, they are a run-first offense, or they've shown that all year now. They've started throwing the football around a little bit more. They've got the Allaway kid, number 25 at slot, that is really talented, really explosive kid. But they've also got some guys around him that are good. You look out there, and they're not the physical stature guys that you go, my gosh, but they're all in that 5'10"-ish range, 170, but they're all quick, elusive receivers that can go. Now, they do have a tight end, number 1, that they bring in. He's a 6'5", 230 guy, but they use him as an attached tight end a lot of times. They don't flex him out just a lot. We haven't seen that. But a very dangerous offense, at their skill positions. Their running back has been their guy all year long, number 39. I think he's got about 1,200 yards rushing on the year. Not a real big kid. He's very similar to the same as your receivers. They're all in that 170 range, but they're quick, elusive. They're electric when they get in space. If you give them space, and that's going to be the thing tonight. Is going to be a huge key for us. Is how do we tackle in space? Do we wrap up, or we just try to knock people off their feet? And these guys are going to be the guys that if you try to knock off their feet, they're going to have great balance, and they're going to be able to bounce off, and they're going to be able to continue to play. So, that's going to be a big key for us, And one thing that it starts with them, they're big up front on offensive line, very similar to us on offensive line, so they're going to try to grind you out if they can. Quarterback is not really a mobile quarterback. He sits in the pocket, throws the football around well, delivers it to all of his receivers, and does a little bit of RPO stuff. So he's kind of a headsy guy, and does his job, But we have seen him keep the football just occasionally on run game, but not very often. But he's got a lot of talent around him.
Well, on film, they look really similar to Benton. I mean, able to move the ball and able to attack downfield, but pretty consistent run game. Now let's flip to the defense side, which I think West Memphis, their strength really lies in their defense. Seems like all year they've been a tough foe for all of their opponents. Talk about our offense versus their defense and what kind of matchup we're going to be looking at.
Well, Dale, it'll be the biggest test we've had probably since the Bryant game. I mean, I think this defensive front is very similar to the Bryant defensive front. Big up front with big guys. They've got a defensive end at 6'4", 250. They've got two D tackles that are approaching the 300 size. One that is 300, and then a one interior guy that's, you know, a 280, 290 guy, and then one defensive end that's about 250. So, I mean, they're big across the front. They got big linebackers that run to the ball well. They've only given up 116 points all year, you know, so that's pretty impressive. Their back end is athletic. I think there's some things that we can take shots at and do with our spacing concepts and our passing game and things like that we like to do, you know, and we feel good about that. We feel like we got a great game plan going in, but it's going to be a key is how do we handle those big guys up front, you know. We tend to struggle just a little bit against Bryant early, and then against Greenwood's front. Greenwood's front wasn't quite as big, but they were very active. This front from West Memphis is not as active as the Greenwood front or even Jonesboro's front, but they're big. They anchor in. They do a great job of absorbing blocks and letting their linebackers really flow to the ball and their safeties, and they do a great job at that point. So, you know, they're going to be a tough out for us, you know, and we're going to have to play extremely well on the offensive line in order for us to be successful tonight. You know, those guys are going to have to match size with size and determination with determination, because that's what it's like. Their defense is one of the best in the state regardless of classification. And, you know, so it's going to be tough for us. But, you know, we've challenged the offensive line all week, and we feel like we match up pretty good with them because our size against their size, you know. We tend to struggle with teams like last week, 91 and 22, that was so quick off the football and everything. These guys are not quite as electric off the ball, but they are big and they do absorb blocks well. So big challenge for our run game tonight. Zach and DeAnthony are going to have a big night running the football, and that offensive line is going to have to get after it.
Yeah, and for I think people watching at home, you know, that may not be super well versed in the intricacies of football. Last week we saw a really penetrating defensive line that wanted to get upfield and create havoc in the backfield. This week we're going to see some guys that want to just shut down your A and B gap and not make you bounce it outside to where the linebackers are waiting on them. And you see that on film. They try to clog that middle and make you go to the outside. Yes. All right, injury report. I know last week we saw Garrett Brown go down with a slight knee injury. Devin Griffin went out with what appeared to maybe be a concussion. Are these guys back? What's the status injury-wise this week?
Well, we got Devin back. Devin did. We put him through concussion protocol and everything, and he got released Thursday. To practice and everything with us, and actually went through practice Wednesday and Thursday, but they cleared him to go tonight and everything, so we'll have him back. That's a big help right there. You know, we missed him last week when he was out. He's been really solid for us all year, and so we're excited to have him back. Garrett Brown left the game last week. He did have a little bit of a knee injury. It's just a bone bruise is what they're saying right now. No ligament damage or anything like that, but he has been slowed just a little bit this week. You'll see him tonight. We're most likely going to start Colin tonight. He finished the game for us last week. He's throwing the football a lot better, the hands much better, and, you know, you'll see both quarterbacks tonight at times, though, because Garrett does things that Colin can't do, and Colin does things that Garrett can't do. So you'll see both of those guys tonight. The one that we're still questionable about is Zach Parker. Zach left the game last week with a lower back injury and practice limited all week, you know, with some pain and everything. So we'll just see what he feels like through the week and see how he can go tonight. You know, he's a senior and he knows this possibly could be it for him, so he's going to toughen up and try to play if he can.
Well, that's good. Hate that for Zach, and that is the one. I knew I was forgetting one. Right. Glad you brought that up. Well, I'm excited. It's going to be a long drive over. Right. I'm hoping you can make it a fun drive back, talking about a victory. So we're gonna head to a break, and then when we come back, we'll be back with Jim and the guys.
At this time of year, the best way to experience Benton is to be a Benton Panther football fan. The city of Benton is very proud to be one of the sponsors of the 2018 season. The student body is ready, the pep steppers are ready, the cheerleaders are ready, the marching band is ready, the players are ready, Coach Harris and his staff are ready, and the city of Benton is ready for a drive to a state championship. Experience Benton and support the Benton Panthers. Go Panthers!
This is Kim Hammer, State Senator-elect for District 33. I want to give a special shout-out to the Benton Panthers for their win over the Jonesboro Hurricane. Turned them into a tropical depression at the end of the game, and tonight we're going to play the West Memphis Blue Devils. I want to give a special shout-out to Michael Allison for last week's game in which he had 6 receptions for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Kelby Caffrey with 3 interceptions and 10 tackles. With that kind of playing, we'll go on tonight to beat the West Memphis Blue Devils and go on and take the state championship. Go Panthers.
You heard about the Everett difference when buying a car, but you also experience that difference when you need service. Our state-of-the-art facilities, GM-certified technicians, and courtesy transportation are just the beginning. We've even got Bo on the job, making sure everything's done right. But be sure to keep an eye on your complimentary snacks. It's a better way to buy and a better service experience when you need it. That's Everett Buick GMC and everettbgmc.com.
Smith Caldwell Drug is located in the heart of downtown Benton. We're an independently owned pharmacy that strives to give our patients the best quality and care possible. We offer free delivery service and convenient drive-through window. Our friendly staff will help you with your insurance billing needs and much more. Be sure to shop our large boutique, gift section, and baby department, where you get free gift wrapping. Smith Caldwell Drug in the heart of downtown Benton.
Stop the presses. Tony Linehan was here a half hour early. And that could bring nothing but good news for the Panthers tonight. We got Panther fans all over the place. Benji White and Casey Davis and crew are all geared up in Panther gear, cheering on the Panthers back home tonight. Tony Stowers, our old buddy and a former member of the Benton broadcast crew, tuned in over in DeQueen tonight. Got my Aunt Barbie and Uncle Tim and my grandma watching back home on the old Hot Springs Highway, and my father-in-law and family back home. Terry, we got a message from Robert Black, his son Logan, part of the service out at Fort Benning.
Fort Benning, home of the infantry.
Tuned in tonight. So appreciate everybody following Benton Panther football tonight. Get your maroon and gray out and cheer on the Panthers back home. Let's do a West Memphis scouting report. This is a Blue Devil team that is undefeated, 11-0 overall, a perfect 7-0 in the 6A East. They are 21-2 in their last 2 seasons. They're coached by Billy Elmore. He has 2 state championships. To his credit, one at Glen Rose in 2007 and another in 2012 at Stuttgart. They'll run out of the spread. Their defense is a 4-3. Terry, they're a little more than 2-to-1 run to pass. They average 171 a game on the ground, 172 through the air. Score right at 30 a game and only allow 10.5 a game.
Well, you know, look, Coach Elmore is very confident in this team, so much so that he gave Benton a little bulletin board material earlier this week, calling the Panthers a good team, but not a great team. And, you know, with 20 seniors starting, you know, you can see where they would be very confident. The Blue Devils have several talented athletes on offense, but none better than senior speedster wide receiver Devin Holloway. With legitimate 4.4 speed, John, Holloway has been roasting defenses on all season, including a 3-touchdown performance last week against Pine Bluff. They like to use him in the running game too, and we'll see a little bit of that tonight. And getting him the ball is going to be a major focus out of this offense.
Yeah, and one of the things about West Memphis that I think you need, that 11-0 record, there's a yin and a yang with that. One, several of their wins over teams that aren't great teams either,
right?
Maybe not even good teams, were by a very narrow margin. We're talking 1 and 2 points. Kind of the yang to that is that they were able to win those close games.
Right.
So that's something that you got to talk about this West Memphis team. They don't give up. They get behind. They're going to keep playing, just like we saw out of Benton and Jonesboro last week. So very game opponent, very talented, and they're used to being in tight games.
It's a West Memphis team that has scored 35 points 6 times this year with a couple of outliers, 3 against Jacksonville in a Mud Bowl game that went to overtime, and then 56 against Searcy. but it's a team that really is right around that 30, 35-point mark every time out. Let's talk about our Benton Panthers. Benton comes in 9-2 tonight. Panthers were 6-1 in conference play this year. Panthers run for 205 a game, pass for 266 a game, and it's an offense, John, that averages 42.5 a game. So if you hit your average and hold West Memphis to their average, you're in good shape.
Yeah, we're a one-touchdown favorite according to paper. I don't know what the pundits are saying about that, but very evenly matched team. West Memphis balanced as well, and they can run the ball and they can throw the ball. They've got speed. They've got size. I think this may be the most excited I've been all year for two teams matched up in a game, and it's a big game at that.
Well, that's true. The Panther offense may have a few new wrinkles tonight also that can go one of two ways. You know, if we have some success up front, John, I know you love the offensive line, and if we have some success up front, you may see a little more physical style of offense with a heavy package but an agile look. And if the Blue Devils overload the line of scrimmage, it could be a big night for senior Colin Morrow. Morrow stepped in last week, and hopefully he'll be able to step in this week and be just as effective.
So that sets the stage for this ball game tonight as the Panthers make their way onto the field across the way. They are heading toward the inflatable tunnel that is set up in the south end zone. Last week in Saline County in playoff action, in addition to the Benton win over Jonesboro, Bryant defeated Fayetteville 28-25 on a game that came down to the very last play as well. Nashville knocked off Bauxite 41-18, and Camden Harmony Grove ended Glen Rose's season 47-28. Tonight in Saline County, the two big schools are still playing. Panthers here at West Memphis. Bryant, for the first time in school history, hosts a state semifinal game as they play the Grizzlies of Fort Smith Northside. Bauxite's season is done. They went 9-3. Glen Rose a 9-2 season, and Harmony Grove finished their season at 5-5. It is time for our picks to click tonight. A couple of Panthers on both sides of the ball that need to have big nights for the Panthers to win. And Terry, you're first up this week.
Well, look, we wouldn't be playing this week if it wasn't for my two picks tonight. Colin Morrow did what senior leaders do. He came back from an injury, stepped up, and delivered for his team. And Kelby Caffrey made possibly the biggest play of the year with at the biggest moment of the season. And these seniors will deliver again tonight. That's why I picked them.
John?
Well, I'm going with the offensive line and Dylan Burnham. I think that's two things, and we'll talk about that in the pinpoints, that we're going to have to do a very good job tackling in space and blocking up front.
Dio, we go down to you for the first time tonight. Your picks.
Well, I would second John's pick of the offensive line. They do have to have a big night against this West Memphis defensive line. But my picks, the reason that the offensive line needs to do well is to clear the way for my man Zach Wallace, who he's got to have a senior night tonight. This West Memphis D is stout, and they're going to plug the middle, but Zach Wallace has got to step up and be a leader. And then on defense, Kyvan Carroll, he's got to have a big night, playing a little bit out of position on that strong side, but there's a reason the coaches put him out there, and he needs to play big.
Number one fan of the Panthers, Freddie Reinhardt, picks Michael Allison on offense. The senior has 41 catches, 785 yards, and 10 touchdowns. And Cameron Ross on defense. Panther captains tonight as the captains meet for the coin toss. Joshua George, Dylan Ferguson, Zach Wallace, and Kelby Caffrey. John, give us 3 pinpoint keys to a Panther win tonight.
Well, Jim, it's all about being great, and 3 areas that we specifically need to be great in is our mental capacity, tackling in space, and the intermediate passing game. When it comes to the mental game last week, Terry, against Jonesboro, we had 3 or 4 drives that got absolutely shut down by offensive penalties, and these are not penalties that are incidental. These are a lot of them false starts. When it comes to tackling in space, when you play a team that's got speed like West Memphis does, you got to wrap up and you got to stop them on first contact. We didn't do a great job last week against Jonesboro doing that. And finally, the intermediate passing game, you know, they've got speed on defense. We're going to have to be able to help our running game out with that short passing game.
Well, I like your first pinpoint, being great mentally. And not good, but great.
Yeah.
Because for every team that we've played this year, I've said that the biggest opponent that our offense faces is themselves. Tonight, it's a little bit different. This is a very, very, very good West Memphis defense, and I think the Panthers are going to have to execute and do exactly what you're talking about, John. Be great mentally, sharp, and focused in order to have success tonight.
Panthers come onto the field through the smoke provided by Independent Fire Extinguisher Sales and Service. Mr. Randy Adney and company at 515 Bird Street in Benton. Their phone number is 778-4197. West Memphis won the toss and deferred their option to the second half. So the Panthers will receive to open the ball game and defend the north goal. Benton will be moving right to left across your radio dial here in the first quarter. It is 52 degrees in West Memphis at kickoff, and the wind is blowing out of the south-southeast at 10 miles an hour. This field lies north and south. It says West Memphis in the south end zone. It's a blue end zone with white lettering. Blue Devils in the north end zone, white lettering on a blue background. The Panthers in their white pants, white tops, maroon numerals, and maroon helmets with the italicized B on one side and the Panther head on the other side. West Memphis in blue pants, blue jerseys, white numerals, white helmets. They have the Devil Trident on one side,
the fork,
and the old Alabama numerals on the other side of the helmet. Their motto is "Forks Up," which happened yesterday.
The Blue Devils are a paramilitary group or something like that from Canada. I don't know, Terry, maybe.
Hey, let me tell you about Forks Up. You should have seen the spread yesterday at the complex. What a job by the Panther moms yesterday on Thanksgiving morning. For the fourth time in 5 years, Benton plays on the day after Thanksgiving with a trip to War Memorial Stadium and the state championship game on the line. The kickoff for West Memphis is Colin Clark. And West Memphis has shown a propensity to sky kick on the kickoff all year long. Clark's going to kick it deep, and going back to field at Kelby Caffrey at the 5. Retreats to the 3. Kelby over the 20 to the 22-yard line, and that's where we'll see the Benton offense put it in play for the first time tonight. And the Panthers will be led out by senior quarterback Colin Morrow. He'll have Zach Wallace in the backfield with him. The offensive line from left to right, Jensen White, Austin Jones, Joshua George, Henry Hicks, and James Durling. The receivers are Michael Allison, Garrett Body, Gavin Wells, and Braxton Slaughter. It is 1st and 10 Benton at their own 22-yard line to begin the ball game tonight. Trip receivers to the left, single receiver to the right. As Morrow throws for Allison on first down, throw sails a bit high, incomplete, and it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, it was hide behind that time, but first toss of the senior and 2nd down.
Panther offensive line averages 287 pounds across the front. The West Memphis defensive line checks in at 252 pounds. This is the biggest defensive line the Panthers have faced since the season opener in the Salt Bowl against Bryant. 2nd down and 10 for Benton. Colin Morrow has Zach Wallace to his right in the backfield. Wallace gets the carry, running to the near side, has a seam, pulled down from behind by Kendarius Moore at the 29-yard line. So Benton going to have 3rd down and 3 on their opening possession.
Yeah, West Memphis did a good job of containing the outside that time. Michael Allison with a good block gives our running back a little bit of a lane there.
3rd down and 3 for the Panthers at the 30-yard line. Ball on the near hash as Benton moves right to left in this first quarter. Morrow has trips in a bunch to the wide side of the field. Morrow going to roll that way. He looks, he throws, has Garrett Body wide open over the 40. 1st down Panthers to the 44-yard line as Benton converts on 3rd down.
Well, that was a really good play by Morrow that time. He did have his body squared, so he just kind of almost shot-putted the ball. It looked at John and found a wide-open Garrett Body.
So Benton converts on their first third down attempt of the ball game. First down and 10 Benton at the Panther 44. And the give, Morrow tried to pull. Ball came loose. Morrow falls on it back at the 40-yard line. It'll go as a loss of 4, as a little mishandling of the handoff, John.
Yeah, and the turf's very wet. They had some very heavy rain over here earlier in the evening. And on that play right there, the end had bit down on Wallace. And I think Morrow saw some running room, and he would have had some green there.
Second down and 14 following the loss of 4. Braxton Slaughter is the H-back. And on this formation, going to set up the screen to Slaughter. Slaughter trying to get away from Kendarius Moore does. Slaughter going to be hit, forced out of bounds on the West Memphis sideline at the 43-yard line, and a Blue Devil slow to get up on the tackle. That time for West Memphis was number 25, Devin Holloway, the big receiver in there at safety.
Yeah, just a punishing blow by Slaughter at the end of that run.
So it's third down and 11 for the Panthers with 10:16 to go in the first quarter. Game's opening drive, empty backfield for Colin Morrow. High snap, Morrow pulls it down, throws. Gavin Wells with the catch in the slot, and Gavin's going to make it to midfield, and that's where Benton will face a fourth down and 4.
Well, that time it really made a little something out of nothing. Had good coverage that time, and Morrow got the ball to Wells. Just no place to run, John. West Memphis did a good job of defense.
Brad Harris leaves the offense on the field for fourth down and 4 at midfield. And now Morrow is going to look to the sideline, to the Panther coaching staff, going to give instructions to his offensive line and reset at the 45-yard line. Has Zach Wallace to his right. Snap back, fake to Wallace. Morrow going to throws wide of Braxton Slaughter, incomplete. So the Panthers roll the dice on 4th and 4 at midfield, come up empty, and West Memphis is going to have it first down and 10.
Well, Coach Harris is not happy about that. Dropped pass. He would have had the first down could he held on to the ball, and now the Panther defense is put in a bad situation.
Owens McConnell is the West Memphis quarterback, has Latavian Thomas in the backfield with him. We'll set the Benton defensive starters following the first down play. As the play being signaled in from the West Memphis sideline, trip receivers to the right, single receiver to the left as McConnell fakes to Thomas, looks, throws for Mason Kearney, who makes a diving catch at the 42-yard line. A gain of 8, it'll be 2nd and 2. Benton starters defensively, Dylan Ferguson, Caleb Kaufman, and Ty Nethery. Kyvan Carroll, Bryce Gallagher, Gavin Davis, Kelby Caffrey, and Dylan Burnham. And the secondary is Devin Griffin, Terry Jones, and Cameron Ross. Second down and 2. Give off to Latavian Thomas. Dylan Burnham's going to make the tackle at the 40-yard line as it begins to rain again with 9 minutes to go in the first quarter.
It's a good discipline play there by Burnham. He stayed in his lane and made a good tackle, and that's something we talked about in the pregame is when you get these guys in space, Terry, you got to wrap them up. Burnham with a good job there.
Zach Parker not in the lineup tonight for the Benton defense. Gavin Davis, the sophomore, gets the start in his place. Give off to Latavian Thomas. Gavin Davis, the first one to get to him. Kyvan Carroll finishes off the tackle at the Benton 37-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Boy, they're asking a lot of a sophomore linebacker to come in here and start such a big game, but right there he showed you why they have that trust in him, Jim. He delivered on the tackle.
See another sophomore, Justin Walker, in at defensive end as McConnell pressured, throws. Mason Kearney going to be knocked for a loss by Kelby Caffrey back at the 41. It'll be 3rd and 11.
It's just what the doctor ordered, tackling in space. Benton came out. They did a tremendous job of it on that drive, and that lets West Memphis know they're in for a long night. Very physical play as well.
McConnell is a 6-foot, 240-pound junior quarterback, not mobile, and the Panther pressure forced him to throw early that time. McConnell back to throw, and that ball's going to be dropped. Tried to get it to the senior Mason Kearney, and he dropped it at the 31. It's 4th and 11.
That would have probably been a first down.
Yeah, if he could have held on to the ball trying to catch it, because Kelby Caffrey was about to unload on him.
Yeah.
So we saw Benton go for it on 4th and 4 at midfield. Now West Memphis faces 4th and 11 at the Benton 41. And West Memphis going to go for it. Trip receivers to the short side, single receiver to the wide side. Now McConnell's going to step back a few steps, and he is going to punt it away. As the punt is very high, it's going to land at the 10. Panthers get away from it. Takes a West Memphis roll inside the 5-yard line. And West Memphis is going to down it at the 1. So Benton losing the field position battle as the deep snapper Jatavius Tucker downs it at the 1-yard line. And for the first time, we go down for a CDI Contractor sideline report with Dio.
Well, offense came out looking pretty good and then sputtered a little bit there, had some drop balls and just some miscommunications. You noticed that they were going to go for that quarterback power read. They're going to try to get the ball tomorrow because that is not something that West Memphis has seen on film really all year. So look to see that on this drive, but great series by the defense right there.
Panthers start in a big hole at their own 1-yard line, and Morrow empties the backfield. It's an empty gun, 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Going to throw to Zach Wallace, and Zach can't hold on to it on the quick slant incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Boy, we got to catch those.
Yeah.
I mean, that was wide open. Nobody even made contact. That was just a clean drop, John.
And that's probably a first down because he had room to run. 2 drop passes early, killing the Panthers.
2 receivers to each side on 2nd down and 10. Wallace in the backfield with quarterback Colin Morrow, who looks to the sideline. Play signaled in from offensive coordinator Justin Ray. Snap clock at 5. Morrow going to give it off to Wallace. Wallace hit in the backfield, able to surge forward to the 2-yard line. Boy, very close to a safety that time, Terry. Benton going to face 3rd and 8.
Yeah, it is, and Benton's going to have to find a way to get somebody open in space and be able to deliver.
So Allison and now Wells going to go to the far side and join Slaughter and Body on that side. Trips to the right. Allison, the lone receiver, to the left. 3rd down and 8 for the Panthers. And again, Morrow checks with his Panther coaching staff. Now going to snap the football, under 5 seconds on the snap clock. Swing it out to Zach Wallace, catch in the backfield, and Zach going to be up to the 5-yard line before he is tackled by Curtis Hill, the middle linebacker. And Benton going to punt it away on 4th down from their own 5-yard line.
Well, it was a good series with West Memphis's defense. They really kind of were quick out on the edge and were able to get a hold to Wallace and wrap him up. And good job by them.
Lucky we got that block there
yeah.
by number 2, Gavin Wells.
Tyler Cochran is the deep snapper. Preston Barker averages 36.8 yards per punt. Stands in his own end zone to punt it away. Rugby punt to the right, and that ball is going to go out of bounds at the 23-yard line. West Memphis is going to have exceptional field position at the Benton 23-yard line. Boy, advantage Blue Devils so far, Terry, on the field position battle.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit of a devil of our own creation.
Yeah.
You know, we gave them a short field earlier. We're able to hold them, and then they flipped it on us, and we weren't able to move the ball, and now they're starting off on our own 23-yard line.
So 1st down and 10, West Memphis at the Benton 23, 5:58 to go in the first quarter. And it is scoreless. Trip receivers bunch just off the line of scrimmage. Give off to Latavian Thomas running left. And Thomas is going to churn for 3 yards to the 20. It'll be 2nd and 7.
Good discipline there by Dylan Ferguson, number 99.
2nd down and 7.
Thomas came in with 243 carries on the season. He is, in the words of Tony Linehan's article in the paper today in the Cougar, the bell cow of this West Memphis offense. 2nd down and 7 for the Blue Devils. Again, they bunch 3 to the right. Give it to Thomas again, and Thomas is going to be tackled by Ty Nethery at the 19, so 3rd down and 6.
Man, that's a really good play by Ty Nethery, and I really like the fact, John, that they were moving him inside for this game.
Absolutely.
Because we need his strength at the point of attack right there in the center of that offense.
Well, you're not going to move him, and you're not going to run over him.
That's right.
And that's where Ty Nethery brings a lot of value to this defensive line.
3rd down and 6, West Memphis. So they're going to bring a man in motion, give it to him. That's the speedster, Devin Holloway. He's able to turn the corner, but Kelby Caffrey's going to upend him at the 14-yard line, short of the first down. Great play by Caffrey, John.
And that's great coaching and great preparation. You saw Kelby coming in motion, comes all the way across the field, gets the angle, makes a great read, gets the tackle. Now we got him in 4th down.
Holloway touched the ball 7 times last week, scored 3 touchdowns for the Blue Devils in their quarterfinal win. It is 4th down and 1, West Memphis at the Benton 14. They line up in the I to go for it, and the give to Latavian Thomas. He's got the first down over the 10-yard line, and it'll be 1st down and goal, West Memphis at the Panthers 7.
Well, he got the first down, John, but that's the kind of physical football we've got to have all night long. Cameron Ross coming up and laying a big hit right there at the end.
Run behind their big offensive lineman, Hassani Adams, the 6'3", 300-pound senior. 1st down and goal, West Memphis. Give to Thomas again, and Thomas is going to be tackled by Bryce Gallagher at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Great tackle by Bryce Gallagher that time, coming in and filling that gap.
Bryce, the 5'8", 220-pound junior, has moved from outside linebacker to inside this week for the semifinal matchup. It's 2nd down and goal, West Memphis at the Benton 6, John.
Yeah, that's a very natural position for Gallagher. He's used to playing.
Need Bryce to be a box thumper tonight. So they line up in the I, give to Thomas running outside, and Thomas, good pursuit by Cameron Ross, Kelby Caffrey as well, tackle him at the 4-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and goal.
Boy, there's that tackling in open space.
Absolutely.
Like you were talking about, John.
You saw it open up. From our angle, we could see it. I thought he's going in for the touchdown, and those guys just converged. Good speed.
Hey, guys, Cameron Ross is a football player.
Yeah, he really is. He's one of those guys that's gone a little bit under the radar with recruiting and all of that this year, but somebody's going to get a heck of a football player out of that guy, and they may get him pretty cheap.
I will tell you, that's a very good football player. He's up to 120 tackles for the season.
2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, 7 pass breakups, as well as Billy Elmore, Brian Embry, and the West Memphis coaching staff take a timeout on 3rd down and goal at the Benton 5 with 2:48 to go in the first quarter. And we are scoreless as we go down to the sideline in Dio.
Well, I was going to try to listen in on what the coaches were telling the defense. You notice they subbed in. We went from that odd man front to an even man front. So I was trying to figure out what they've got cooking over there, but I guess we'll have to wait and all.
Well, and that's one of the things that we know that Brad Harris, there's several wrinkles offensively and defensively that he had in store for tonight, and one of them was to go to that 4-man front and really put the pressure on them inside, not let them push us around and get those yards in between the tackles.
So we'll see what the Panther defensive coaches, Bobby Wynn, Garrett Hammonds, Rusty Davis, and crew have up their sleeve here on this 3rd down and goal for West Memphis, just inside the Benton 5-yard line. As West Memphis is going to send Jimmy Phillips wide to the left. Holloway and Jatavius Tucker come wide to the right. McConnell's going to roll to the right. He's going to throw, and he sails that one way over the head of Tucker. Devin Griffin had him blanketed in the end zone, and it'll be 4th down and goal. And Colin Clark is going to come on and attempt a field goal. He's 3 for his last 3. Mason Kearney will hold. Jatavius Tucker will be the deep snapper.
Yeah, great design there by the defense. Ty Nethery lines up at defensive tackle, probably his most natural position. And they did a good job. They went low and bottled everything up in the middle. And
so a drive that began at the Benton 23 is going to end in a field goal attempt. Ball on the left hash. There's a snap to Kearney. Low snap. He's able to get it down. Clark's kick is up, and it is good. And West Memphis draws first blood. With 2:39 to go in the first quarter, it is 3-0 West Memphis. But Terry, a tip of the hat to the defense who, boy, had their back to the wall and held West Memphis to a field goal.
Look, the PDC has a big task tonight, stopping a very explosive West Memphis offense. And You know, when you're able to hold them back from 23 yards, when they're starting on your 23-yard line, let me just tell you, I'll take those 3 points all night long, John, if you're going to give them that kind of field position. It's almost a reset of the football game.
It really
to be
is.
honest.
It really is.
Now, West Memphis had owned the field position in the first 10 minutes of this ball game.
That's been a problem for us this year, is winning that field position battle. You know, we didn't do a good job against Bryant. We didn't do a good job against Lake Hamilton. Losses, the close games. Greenwood, it was absolutely atrocious. And that was the 30-point difference in the game, was field position.
We'll see if West Memphis kicks it deep. We haven't seen him kick it deep this season, but Clark did so on his first kickoff, and Kilby Caffrey was able to return it to the 22-yard line. Second kickoff of the ball game for Colin Clark of West Memphis. He kicks it deep again, and the Panthers are going to let that one sail into the end zone. That breeze at his back, John, and they decide to just kick it for the touchback.
Yeah, I think it's a good decision by the Panthers to not go that deep and try to return that. Let it go. Let's take it at the 20.
A little bit of a change up from West Memphis on special teams there, Terry,
Well,
from
a little
what we were
bit.
expecting.
I was kind of expecting the sky kicks as well. And, candidly, I kind of hope we see a lot of those ourselves.
You keep kicking it to Kilby. He's going to bust one eventually. First down and 10 for the Panthers at their own 20-yard line. The Panthers with 2 men in the backfield. Slaughter going to motion to the left. Give off to Zach Wallace running right. Zach picks up 5 good yards before he's tackled by Cordell Fenner at the 25. It'll be 2nd and 5.
That's exactly what you want. Get 4 yards on first down. It sets you up 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. It's just where we want to be.
2nd down and 6.
And a nice hard run that time by Zach Wallace, which is what you want to see out of your senior running back in the first quarter.
Body and Wells split to the right. Allison to the left on 2nd down and 5. It's a give again to Wallace. Wallace coming left this time is going to pick up 3 yards to the 28. Now you've got a 3rd down and 2 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and West Memphis leading 3-0.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen that heavy package in a couple of these short yardage situations.
Going to go with one back in the backfield. Morrow tried to hard count. West Memphis disciplined up front. And now Morrow going to change the play. Slaughter and Body come to the near side. Allison and Wells to the far side. Wallace motions out of the backfield. And now from an empty gun, Colin Morrow looks, throws behind Garrett Body. It is incomplete, and on 3rd down and 2, Benton doesn't convert and faces another 4th down. Panthers with just 1 first down in their first 3 possessions tonight.
Yeah, it's a bad spot on the field. It's a very long 4th and 2, and this is one of those situations where you can't gamble right now. You got to kick this deep and let your defense do what they do.
Need Preston Barker to boom one. He has 2 punts over 50 yards this year, and this would certainly be a good time for one, as Tyler Cochran will snap it away as the Panthers shift on that punt team. Barker gonna rugby punt it to the right. Much better punt this time out of Preston Barker, and that ball's gonna be down by Devin Griffin at the Blue Devil 41-yard line. So West Memphis will have it 59 yards away, leading 3-0 with 1:16 to go in the first quarter, and we go back down to the sideline to Dio.
Well, Coach Ray not happy after that series. I think he was fine with the runs, but that pass play, basically, from the sound of it, it was not executed the way he anticipated it. I think it was designed to be thrown to the other side of the field, and that's why there was some confusion out there. He's not a happy camper right now, so I think he's about to go in there and get some corrections made for the offense. Defense needs to have another big stop right here.
So Alloway goes in motion on 1st down. They give it to Jatavian Thomas. He runs to daylight over midfield into Benton territory before Cameron Ross makes the tackle at the Benton 47-yard line. A gain of 12 and a West Memphis 1st down.
We over pursued that, and you see it right here. We really crashed down on it with our linebackers, and he got to the outside, used his speed to get a big gain.
Kelvin Love checks in at running back for West Memphis as the clock hits a minute to go in the first quarter. It's 3-0 here. It's 3-0 in Greenwood at the end of the first quarter in the other semifinal game between Greenwood and Sylvan Hills. Ball on the right hash as West Memphis moves left to right. Jet sweep fake to Holloway, give to Kelvin Love, and Love is going to pick up 6 yards to the Benton 41-yard line, and it'll be 2nd down and 4.
You see the strength of these running backs for West Memphis. We had him wrapped up for about a 2-yard gain. He gets 4 yards after contact. And, well, these running backs, very impressive.
Love, a 5'10", 180-pound senior, wears number 19, and he is set to the right of quarterback Owens McConnell. He gets the give, running left, and he runs through a big hole down to the 30-yard line before Cameron Ross, the Panther free safety, makes the tackle. And Terry, you can't have that. You can't have your free safety making tackles in the run game.
Well, this free safety's got over 120 tackles this year, which has been a little bit of the stretch on our defense, is that we're asking a lot of our last line of defense.
So West Memphis is going to let the first quarter clock expire. We go to the second quarter with West Memphis leading Benton 3-0 in tonight's state semifinal game from Hamilton Schultz Field. We'll take a break and come back with the second quarter tonight on 106.7 The Ride and Fidelity Local 6.
And actually, I feel like it makes me look better as a realtor to use Cornerstone, because I know if they say it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be on time. I have so many times experienced situations with other lenders when there were delays that were outside of the client's control. We were just kind of at the mercy of the lender. And with Cornerstone, I've never had to worry that those were gonna happen.
Cornerstone Home Lending. No excuses.
Congo Fireplace and Patio has been Benton's go-to place for all your hearth needs since 1920. Stop by now and see over 20 live burning displays. With the South's largest selection of gas logs, gas inserts, and wood-burning stoves, Congo has what you need to heat your home this winter. Get any accessory you need for your fireplace and stove in one place. Plus, see the largest selection of pellet stoves. With over 90 years of combined sales and service, there's no other place to shop.
So we go to the second quarter. West Memphis has it 1st and 10 at the Benton 30-yard line. Fourth play of the drive coming up, and it has all been on the ground for West Memphis on this drive. 29 yards on 3 running plays. And the Bulldogs move, or Blue Devils, move right to left here in the second quarter. They give off to Kelvin Love, and Love is going to spin down to the 27 as he picks up 3 yards. In on the tackle for Benton that time, Mikhail Dukes, the big nose man, John.
Yeah, and he's a guy we need some good production out of tonight, because he's one of those guys, he's hard to move around. He's got some athleticism, and with Chris Wright being out, he's the next man up after Kaufman.
5'11", 285-pound senior Mikhail Dukes is drawing the assignment of going up against the West Memphis center R.J. Parker, who benches 360 and squats 625 as West Memphis going deep for Jimmy Phillips. Great play by Devin Griffin to bat it away at the goal line, and it'll be 3rd down and 7.
Well, I'll tell you this, West Memphis going deep to one of their best receivers, and Devin Griffin enforcing the no-fly zone and saying, not this time, big boy.
With him step for step, John.
Yeah, and I like our chances on a jump ball. And that's basically what that was. With our defensive backs, West Memphis doesn't want to do that tonight.
West Memphis took a shot. It came up empty, and now the Blue Devils face 3rd and 7 at the Benton 27. McConnell drops back, throws it over the head of Jimmy Phillips at the 15-yard line, and now West Memphis has 4th down and 7.
Man, that was a break right there, because Phillips had created a little space that time.
Yeah.
Was wide open for a 1st down, and he just sailed that ball over his head, and big break for the Panther defense.
You wonder about the accuracy tonight. Both quarterbacks struggling.
McConnell pressured that time. And a little bit of happy feet back there in the pocket for the West Memphis quarterback. It is 4th down and 7, and the Blue Devils are going to go for it. 3 receivers to the wide side, single receiver to the short side of the field. McConnell drops back. He's throwing that way. Terry Jones in coverage, and it's incomplete. Intended for Jatavius Tucker. And the Benton defense, guys, a little bending, not breaking in this first half. And the PDC gets the ball back for the offense, Terry.
Hey, man, I want to tell you something. We've been saying it all year. Y'all better be paying attention, number 11. That's as good as you can cover on a deep pass like that, and he played it perfectly. Oh, that was Terry Jones.
Yeah.
I thought it was 11. Excellent job by Terry Jones. You just can't play that better than that.
The 5'9", 180-pound senior comes up big on 4th down, so the Panther offense now with the football. And we see a change at quarterback for the Benton offense. Garrett Brown, the sophomore, will take the snap as the rain begins to fall again here at West Memphis. Brown going to air it out. It's got Garrett Body behind the defense, and Garrett Body cannot hold on to it. Incomplete, and it'll be 2nd down.
Boy, those are 3 big drops.
I think he misjudged that one a little bit, and he slowed up, and that one was right on the money from Garrett Brown. You see just a little bit of hesitation, and he just kind of, right there, he just stutter-stepped 1 step, and he's just kept running.
A little Russellville redo right there.
Somewhere Scott Nethery is going nuts right now.
And Mickey Duval, the voice of the Cyclones, watching us tonight. He has a memory of that play. Give off to Zach Wallace, and Wallace going to bounce it out to the left, and Zach is going to pick up 8 yards to the 35. That's a good 2nd down run, and it'll be 3rd and 2.
Guys, when you have the ability to throw the ball deep and accurate like that, it just backs that defense up and opens up your running game. And that puts the Panthers in a really good situation.
And the offensive line did a really good job that time.
Jensen White helping open the hole as the rain begins to fall harder here in West Memphis. 3rd down and 2, Wells in motion. Going to give off to Zach Wallace running left, and Zach runs into Hassani Adams, the big 300-pound defensive tackle for West Memphis at the 36. And now it's going to be 4th down and a long one for the Panthers, and Brad Harris is going to send on the punt team.
Well, that's a good call by Coach Harris, and you sure hope you could have got 2 yards out of that. I thought they had a good play call there, and West Memphis's defensive line just showed up and played really well that time.
4 possessions, 1 first down for Benton tonight. You can see why this West Memphis defense has earned all the honors they have this year. A lot of respect for the Blue Devil defense. Snap back to Preston Barker. Good punt with the wind at his back. Goes over the head of Jimmy Phillips. He retreats to the 15 and fields it. And he's going to be dumped short of the 20 by Kilby Caffrey and Devin Griffin. So West Memphis going to start at the minus 18-yard line with 9:33 to go in the first half. And the Blue Devils lead the Panthers 3-0, and we go down to the Benton sideline and D.O.
Well, what a punt by Preston Barker. I mean, field position, like you guys talked about earlier, such a big deal in a game like this. The weather is not on your side, and playing against a good defense like this, had to flip the field right there. Defense needs to come up big. They came up big on that last series, but you notice West Memphis has started taking some shots. They're not afraid to put the ball in the air. So I think we've got the secondary to play with that, and you'll see Garrett Body come in if they get in a deep passing situation.
Net 45 on the punt by Barker. First down, West Memphis. They go back to the ground to Latavian Thomas, and Thomas going to be tripped up for a loss of 1 back at the 18. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Yeah, and the Panther linebackers there were pushing blockers backward, and that's what blew that play up. Just very, very physical play down inside the pit. And
John, that's what we've got to have. I mean, our defense has got to play physical, and on these passing downs, Jim, we've got to pressure that quarterback because he's shown us a little bit of a weakness in that he throws the ball away when he gets pressure.
West Memphis brings Whitaker, the tight end, off the field. Going to go with the H-back to the left, 2 receivers to the left, give to Thomas, and Thomas tried to hurdle the scrum at the line of scrimmage, and he's going to be tackled at the 20-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Blue Devils. Boy, a big play to get your offense in a good spot on the field, Terry, if you can get a hold and force a punt here.
Sure enough, and Dylan Burnham that time stepping up and choking down a little bit on that defense, making a big tackle right there, John.
Yeah, very happy with my pick.
3rd down and 9 for the Blue Devils. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Panthers show blitz. McConnell throws, and he throws beyond the reach of Devin Holloway, and that Panther pressure is getting to McConnell.
It would not have mattered because Devin Griffin was there. He was about to clean that up. And, Terry, you wonder if they're hearing footsteps a little bit.
Yeah, I think so because you've seen them get up slow a couple of times, and this defense has come to play tonight. They're playing very physical.
Devin Holloway, the speedster, yet to have a catch tonight for West Memphis, is back to punt for the Blue Devils is Caden Smith. He is their backup quarterback. Kelby Caffrey stands at the Benton 49 to receive the punt. Smith shanks it. It is going to hit at the 36. Take a Benton roll, and it's going to be downed right there. So now, John, the field position in the Panthers' favor at West Memphis 36-yard line.
Yeah, and what do you do here if you're Justin Ray? What do you go with? You come out and take a shot?
I think you'll see him take a shot. If I
kind of
had
have
to
that
make
feeling.
a prediction,
yeah.
I'd say we're going to see a shot right here.
Well, we see Tristan Redd check in at guard for the Panthers offensively on this possession in place of Henry Hicks at right guard. It's 1st and 10 Panthers at the Blue Devil 36. West Memphis leads it 3-0 with 8:03 to go in the second quarter. Panthers with Wells and Allison bunched to the left, body to the right. Give to Zach Wallace running left into open space. Best run of the night for the Panthers as Wallace picks up 14 down to the Blue Devil 22.
Yeah, the block by Austin Jones right there. Outstanding on the big guy.
Yeah, excellent blocking.
Turned his body and pushed him back and just created that hole.
Great job by Jason Gentry's offensive line as Brown play action, throws for the end zone. It's a battle, and it's going to be knocked away as Devin Holloway knocks it away from Michael Allison. Incomplete, and it'll be 2nd and 10.
I still say that was the play they wanted to run on the first one.
It was, but they got 2 guys in coverage back there, and
they're dropping everyone back, and they've got Holloway playing both ways.
See him playing in place of senior safety Keelan Malone in that West Memphis secondary. 2nd down and 10 Benton at the Blue Devil 22. Give to Wallace. Wallace running left is going to take it inside the 20 down to the 19. So Benton in the red zone. Allen Henry on the tackle.
Gain of 3 on the play, 3rd down and
well,
7.
this is time that you start looking for Gavin Wells.
Absolutely.
Slipping into that zone a little bit. Let's see what the Panthers dial up.
3rd down and 7 Panthers at the Blue Devil 19. DeAnthony Harper is in at running back for Benton on the 3rd down play. As Garrett Brown approaches the offensive line, gives some instructions, resets at quarterback, moves DeAnthony Harper to his right. Snap clock at 4, snap clock at 3, at 2, and now the Panthers are going to take a timeout as some confusion on the Panther offense that time. And Benton will take a timeout. The offense goes over to visit with Justin Ray, Randy Shaw, Brad Harris, Jason Gentry, and the staff facing a 3rd down and 7 at the Blue Devil 19, and we go down to the Benton sideline and D.O.
Yeah, here with 7 minutes left in the second quarter, I think we might see some of those situational plays, as the best athletic director in the state would call them. There's no such thing as trick plays, but I think this might be a good spot for one of those situational plays, with it being, what is that, about 3rd and 7. Now, they worked on a couple different packages, and I think we saw a tackle-eligible pass and some other things yesterday in the walkthrough, Jim. So I'm kind of curious what they do right here. May not be anything special. May just be get it to the open man.
3rd down and 7 Panthers as Zach Wallace is going to be back in at running back. Bryant takes a 7-0 lead over Northside. Sylvan Hills ahead of Greenwood 7-3 in the second quarter. It's 3rd down and 7 Panthers at the Blue Devil 19-yard line. Allison and Wells split to the right, Slaughter and Body to the left. Wallace in motion out of the backfield. Pump fake to Wallace. Going to set up the screen to Wells, and Wells separated from the football by Curtis Hill, the middle linebacker for West Memphis. It's incomplete, and it'll be 4th and 7.
Well, the timing on that hit by the West Memphis defender was absolutely perfect. Really didn't give Wells a chance to even make the catch.
So the Panthers going to go for the field goal as Braden Hendricks will be the holder. Gavin Wells, normally the holder, a little shaken up on that play. The tee is down at the 26, so a 36-yard field goal attempt for Garrett Eason. Snap back, Hendricks' hold is good. Eason's kick is up. It is good. Garrett Eason drills it from 36 yards with 6:53 to go in the second quarter. It is now all tied at 3. And, John, how about a shout-out to Braden Hendricks coming in on short notice and getting the hold down perfectly.
We saw that go wrong a couple of years ago in a very important game that the Panthers ended up losing on that. And the battery's so important. And how about our deep snapper?
Yeah, I was
he's doing a good job
say.
tonight, and he's, you know, we had Jim, what I would consider to be a great deep snapper for 4 years. And we had a little bit of a trouble time for a year. But this year, our deep snapper has come in and done a tremendous job. And you can't say no. It's a small thing, but it's a big thing. And Jason Gentry coaches those snappers. He does a good job.
Yeah, Joshua George at times, Nolan Pope at times. It's been 2 different guys that have filled that role, and they've done it, knock on wood, Terry, flawlessly this season.
Well, they have, and, you know, that is a 3-point contest. You got to have the snap, the hold, and the kick.
That's it.
And all 3 guys doing their job.
5-play, 17-yard drive in 1:10, and Benton has tied this football game at 3-all, and it's the field position that's made the difference in the 2 possessions that have resulted in scores. As Garrett Eason kicks off for the Panthers with the wind at his back, he drills it, and Holloway fields it in the end zone for a touchback as Terry goes Fred Sanford on me up here in the press box.
Man, I will tell you this, Elizabeth.
I'm coming to join you.
I was coming to join you.
Another
we
tremendous
do not
weapon.
want to kick to that guy. Just kick it out of bounds and give it to him on the 35. We do not want 25 touching the ball with 15 yards of running room.
But you can see the effect of that wind at
Absolutely.
the back, kicking from the south, John.
It gave him that extra yard, and that's exactly what we needed.
So West Memphis moving into the wind here in the second quarter. Will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20. They bunch 3 receivers to the left. Going to swing it out to Holloway. This is the play he scored a touchdown against Pine Bluff on. And there you see his elusiveness as Holloway slips down the sideline for a 19-yard gain to the 39. Boy, it just scares you to death with the ball in his hands.
This is why I just said that, because he just shook probably the best defender in Class 6A and went sprinting down the sidelines. He's got legitimate 4.4 speed, and if you give him a little bit of space, he is gone.
Transferred in from Barton for his senior year, played running back at Barton. He's played wide receiver for the Blue Devils this season. As McConnell going to flip it out to Holloway again, and they're going to say that ball rolls out of bounds. No, they're going to say incomplete. Look like it might have been a lateral play, but they rule it incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10, John.
Well, Brad Harris was absolutely screaming at the defense, pick it up, pick it up. And, well, that's really, really close. But you see Kyvan Carroll coming over. He knew to go after that ball.
They tried the little bubble to Holloway again. Kelby Caffrey was right on top of it that time. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10 Blue Devils from their own 39. They bring Holloway in motion. Fake to him. Give off to Jatavian Thomas. And Thomas is going to pick up 8 yards to the 47. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for West Memphis with 6:30 to go in the first half. And we are tied at 3.
Gavin Davis, a little gimpy getting up. Or was that Gallagher? That's Davis.
That's Davis, the sophomore, 45.
Holding that shoulder. He's a tough kid.
Yeah, Panthers are a little thin right there with Zach Parker not dressed out tonight. 3rd down and 2 for West Memphis. They go power to the right. Owens McConnell, the big quarterback, keeps running right, and he's going to be near the first down. John says he got it as they blow the whistle, and look, give him the 49, give him the first down.
I think he got it right there.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if West Memphis was going to get a bad spot, but that was a good job by this officiating crew right on top of it.
Went tight end right, H-back right, just tried to overpower Benton on that right side. First down for West Memphis at the Blue Devil 49-yard line.
Who is our next man up in the inside linebacker, Jim?
Probably would be David Landers.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Call it Yandale, maybe?
Well, Yandel's out as they give to Latavian Thomas. And Thomas is going to be into Benton territory. He picks up just shy of 3 yards. They mark it just shy of the Benton 48. So it'll be 2nd and 8 for West Memphis.
Boy, there's some physical football going on down there on the line of scrimmage, and I'm excited to watch it. That's exactly what you want to see in a game like this.
See Kyvan Carroll move down to a defensive end spot. He's lined up on the near side for the Benton defense, and Kyvan, a little over anxious that time, jumps offside, and it'll be 2nd and 3 following the mark off of the penalty.
Well, he's used to stemming from the linebacker position, so he's going to have to get used to getting still. But I like the call of putting him at end on this forefront. It's a position he played before moving to Benton. That was his natural position at his former school, and I think he's probably better at linebacker, but he certainly knows the job.
Against this big West Memphis offensive line, Terry, Bobby Wynn trying to get as much strength down there in the pit as he can.
Well, they're going to have to be careful here. They're going to bunch these wide receivers up and then probably try to send somebody deep.
Going to bring Holloway in motion, fake to him. Big Owens McConnell is just going to keep it, and he falls over the 40-yard line down to the 39, and that'll move the chains for a West Memphis first down with 4:35 to go in the first half, all tied at 3.
We made the comparison to the former SEC quarterback Jared Lorenzen, a big kid with a good arm, surprisingly athletic.
McConnell just 36 yards rushing on the season coming in to tonight. He has carried the ball 2 times on this series as they go back to Kelvin Love, and Love is going to rip off 11 yards down to the Benton 28 before Cameron Ross makes the stop.
We got beat at the line of scrimmage.
Well, we did, but that was a good design play because I think the whole defense is watching Holloway that time on the quick screen, and it just opened up that side, but number 71 there just really sealed that corner and gave plenty of running room.
71's Emmanuel McCoy, the left tackle for West Memphis, who have it 1st and 10. And that time, boy, Caleb Kaufman, the Panther nose man, blows that play up in the backfield for a loss of 1 to the 29.
Very, very good play by the defense there, really shutting down that running lane.
John Caleb came in as the leading tackler on the Benton defensive line with 39.
Had great play out of our nose tackles all year.
So 2nd down and 11 for West Memphis at the Benton 29-yard line. So they bring Holloway in motion, give it to him on the jet sweep, running wide. Flag comes in. Cameron Ross is going to make the tackle at the 26-yard line, but likely a hold on West Memphis there on the edge is the flag at the 32.
Yeah, and that flag thrown behind the line of scrimmage, that's going to really back the Blue Devils up.
I'll tell you this. Irregardless of that penalty, that was excellent defense on the edge right there.
Sure was.
Really slowed him down and turned him back towards the middle.
Panthers fought off a hold and only allowed Holloway 3 yards on that carry. So they ran him to the wide side of the field. It's going to be wiped out by the hold. They moved the football back to the 42-yard line, and it will be 2nd down and 24 for the Blue Devils. Single back in the backfield, 2 receivers to the near side, single receiver to the far side. As McConnell takes the snap, he's going to give it off to Latavian Thomas. Thomas over the 35, over the 30.
Fumble.
Ball comes free, and the Panthers recover. And who is that coming up with the fumble?
Garrett Body.
Garrett Body at nickelback on defense comes up with the fumble, and the Panthers have it at the 33.
Well, that's a big turnover by the Panther defense.
That's physical play.
Yes, it is.
That's a big hit there. I didn't see who caused it, but boy, I tell you what, that puts Benton in a really good situation. 3 minutes, plenty of time as we look at the Fidelity Local 6 replay. And
Cameron Ross just stripped it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Cameron Ross credited with the forced fumble. Garrett Body playing nickelback comes up with the fumble recovery. And it is first down Panthers at their own 33. Benton with the wind at their back, 3:06 to go in the second quarter. And we're tied at 3. Colin Morrow back in at quarterback for the Panthers. And a whistle
Offside.
by the linesman across the way on the Benton sideline. And we are going to have a false start against
absolutely.
Benton. Back them up 5, and immediately a quarterback change as Garrett Brown, the sophomore, checks back in.
Yeah, we actually had 2 linemen go, and the rest of them stayed. It was a strange-looking false start, but that's not what you want to do after a turnover.
So first down and 15 following the penalty assessed against Benton. Panther ball at their own 28-yard line. As Brown fakes to Wallace. Brown throws a little bit behind Gavin Wells, incomplete, and it'll be 2nd and 15.
Well, it's a little bit behind him, but that's a very catchable ball. And the Panther receivers, I don't know what's going on with those guys tonight, but they have got to catch the football. That was a very catchable ball and would have been a first down.
2nd down and 15 for the Benton offense as the ball on the near hash mark. Panthers with 3 receivers to the far side, and now we've got a whistle by the linesman on the far side. An issue perhaps with the chains across the way.
Down marker.
As they had actually given Benton a yard.
Yeah, I liked it.
They're going to back it back to the 28. And it'll be 2nd down and 15. Trip receivers to the wide side of the field. Single receiver to the short side. So Brown now looks to Justin Ray. Play signaled in. Brown gives instructions to the offensive line. Has Zach Wallace set to his left. West Memphis showing blitz. Brown going to throw it out to Gavin Wells. Gets a good block from Braxton Slaughter. Wells has got the first down over the 45-yard line, down to midfield, and a couple of flags come in, and it's going to be wiped out due to a hold, Terry.
I'm going to say, we were going to watch this replay, but watch where the block starts. That's key in understanding what is a hold and what is not. And yep, it's a hold. the player was turned and moving away, and he had a hold of that jersey.
Yeah, I mean, it was a clear hold.
2nd down and long for the Panthers.
So 2nd down for Benton following the penalty for holding. 2nd down and 20 for the Panthers. It's Benton at their own 23-yard line with 2:38 to go here in the second quarter. Tied at 3. An empty gun for Garrett Brown. Set up the screen. Michael Allison makes the catch. And Cordell Fenner got a hold of Michael Allison's jersey and wouldn't let him go. Allison trying as hard as he could to break away from the jersey tackle. But it's a good gain. 12 yards to the 35, and Benton will have it 3rd and 8.
Yeah, that was a big gain right there. And boy, you just wish that Michael could have had a tearaway jersey, huh?
I'm telling you. Where's the old Billy Sims tearaway jersey when you need it? 3rd down and 8 for the Panthers at the 35 is a hard count for Garrett Brown, and he got Mark Robinson to jump offside, and that'll give Benton 5 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 4.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, Mark Robinson, I paid a little attention to him this week as we were watching film, getting ready for the game, and man, he's a good-looking football player. He really, really causes a lot of trouble, John, when he crashes in. He's not as much trouble on the edge, but, man, when he makes an inside move, he really, really causes problems in the backfield.
Tristan Hawkins is checked in, and he is set in the slot. Wallace now going to motion out of the backfield. Garrett Brown looks. Garrett Brown throws. Good catch at midfield, and that'll be a first down as Michael Allison hauls it in. And the Panthers work out of a second down and 20 hole, John, to pick up the first down.
I love the call. Go to your senior receiver. That was the play call all the way. No option on that. He knew where he was going with that ball.
Allison back-to-back catches of 22 yards. It's 1st and 10 Benton at the 50-yard line, and they give it to Zach running hard.
Wow.
Look at Zach pound his way down to the 43, a gain of 7, and a late flag as Billy Elmore was bending the ear of the linesman on the near side, and I think the linesman had heard enough.
Well, I will tell you this. That was a week 2 run by Zach Wallace.
Yes.
He lowered his shoulder and just powered through that tackle right there. That's a fantastic run by the senior.
So the ball is set at the 43-yard line. And we've got a sideline warning against West Memphis. And the linesman on the near side, I think he's heard enough from Billy Elmore. Through the flag, sideline warning assessed. It is 2nd down and 3 Panthers with 1:25 to go in the second quarter. Option to the left, pitch to Zach Wallace. Good blocking on the edge, and Zach down to the 35-yard line. That'll stop the clock to move the chains. 8 yards and a Benton first down.
Hey, what a pitch by Garrett Brown, John.
Yeah, it was, and some good blocking on the outside with Allison and Wells. Panthers still with a couple of timeouts.
Zach with 2 determined runs for 15 yards on back-to-back plays. He's going to get it again, running left, and that time West Memphis waiting on him at the 33. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8 as the clock hits a minute to go in the first half.
Gain of 2.
This is where Garrett Body is really good at managing that clock, getting us down there.
2nd down and 8, ball on the left hash. Fake to Zach Wallace. Garrett Brown to throw. Has Allison, and boy, something you never see. Michael Allison let that one slip through his hands at the 24. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Garrett let that one sail on him just a little bit, and Allison was focusing, I think, on the sideline, and I don't know that he would have been able to come down in bounds with it anyway.
So 3rd down and 8 Panthers at the West Memphis 33. It's halftime in Greenwood. Greenwood leads Sylvan Hills 13-7 at halftime. 3rd down and 8 Benton. As Wells operating out of the backfield is going to catch the ball. Gavin over the 25, down to the 23. First down as Benton converts on 3rd and 8.
Boy, what a big play by Gavin Wells, knowing where that first down marker was, John, and lowering his head and getting across.
This Panthers going to leave Gavin Wells in the backfield with 34 seconds to go. They wind the clock as Brown looks to the sideline, and now Brad Harris is going to call timeout. With 30 seconds to go, Benton will have it 1st down and 10 at the West Memphis 23. Game tied at 3, and we go down to the Panther sideline and Dio Vanucci.
Well, the Benton offense really getting into a rhythm right here. Garrett Brown throwing some darts. Receivers having a little bit of trouble hanging on to it, except for right there, obviously, Gavin Wells just making a play. But you can see that our offense, when in rhythm, is really able to do a good job of moving the ball. And this is a great position. If we can go up 10-3 going into halftime, that's huge. This is a West Memphis defense that's only allowed 116 points in 11 games. So that's matching almost their season average in the first half. That would be a big step for this offense.
So we see Grace Bowling bringing some of the Panther dance team up toward the press box. John, that'll be your halftime show tonight, the Benton dance team seniors.
Absolutely.
1st down and 10 Benton at the West Memphis 23. With 30 seconds to go here in the first half, Garrett Brown drops the snap, picks it up, airs it out for Braxton Slaughter, and Braxton can't catch up to it in the end zone. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Remember, this drive started after a Cameron Ross forced fumble back at the 33-yard line with 3:06 to go in the half. Benton's worked the clock down to 23 seconds to go, and it's 2nd and 10 at the West Memphis 23.
Field goal range for our kicker is about the 20-yard line. And we saw him kick it from, it was about the 19, Jim, on the last kick, and it had some room.
Well, from the 26th. It was a 36-yard field goal. So second down and 10, Benton at the West Memphis 23. Ball on the near hash. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Now Wells motions right to left. Brown fakes to Wallace, rolls to the left. Boy, hit as he throws, and the Panthers fortunate that ball was not intercepted, as applying the pressure for West Memphis was the defensive tackle Darylon Handy.
I think somebody was supposed to get chipped and did not.
Pressure, that pass is incomplete.
Well, these Benton coaches, they have a good time. Yeah, we missed the chip right there. Sure did.
Cordell Fenner almost came up with the interception for West Memphis. So it's third down and 10, Benton at the Blue Devil 23 with 18 seconds to go. Panthers still with 1 timeout remaining. As Garrett Brown's going to have Zach Wallace in the backfield. Wells and Allison split to the right. Slaughter and Body to the left. Perfect snap from Joshua George. Brown drops back. Good pocket. Good throw. And it's a bit beyond the reach of Gavin Wells at the goal line. So Benton will have 4th down and 10. And Brad Harris is going to send Garrett Eason back on for a field goal attempt.
Well, John, that was a good pass that time. There was a defender underneath there, and he had to throw it a little bit high, just a little bit higher than Gavin Wells.
Joshua George will snap. Gavin Wells back on to hold for the Panthers as Garrett Eason sets the tee at the 40-yard line, or 30-yard line, a 40-yard attempt. The wind is at Garrett Eason's back. And now we have a whistle and a timeout called by West Memphis with 12 seconds to go. All tied at 3. And Garrett Eason going to attempt his second field goal of this first half. He was good from 36 his first time, Terry.
Hey, with these two offenses, who would have thought we'd be in a 3-3 defensive slugfest at West Memphis?
Well, neither team really able to get the passing game going, and that's the run game. They've had some success. Benton's had some good plays. West Memphis, both teams with good blocking up front, but the passing game, Jim, non-existent almost tonight.
So West Memphis back out on the field after visiting with their coaches. The Panther special teams unit comes back out onto the field after talking with Brad Harris. So Garrett Eason again going to set the tee down at the 40-yard line. The ball is to the right of the middle of the field, just to the left of the right hash. Gavin Wells is the holder. Joshua George the snapper. Garrett Eason will attempt the field goal. Perfect snap and hold. And now Eason got his steps mixed up.
Get on it.
And the ball goes free. Gavin Wells is going to pick it up, and West Memphis has blocked the field goal and held Benton out of the end zone with 3 seconds to go. It'll be West Memphis ball at the 35.
That was odd.
Not sure what happened there, John, but Garrett Eason in his approach stopped and then tried to restart and kick. And the timing just out of kilter on that field goal try.
Hey, guys, you couldn't see it from your angle, but from down here, the snap got mishandled a little bit. I think the wet ball sitting out there for a little while during that timeout probably made it slick. Gavin just couldn't get it down. That's what happened.
Good deal, Dio. Thank you. We could not see it from our vantage point as West Memphis is going to take a knee. Owens McConnell with a knee in the turf, and that's going to do it for the first half as the teams go to the locker rooms, and there has absolutely been nothing settled through 24 minutes. It is West Memphis 3, Benton 3. Guys, we were tied here at halftime last year, and it's kind of a redo for the Panthers. As 20 minutes on the clock, and we go to the halftime show as John Penn is going to interview the Benton Dance Team seniors tonight on the Farmers Bank and Trust halftime show. This is Benton Panther playoff football on 106.7 The Ride and Fidelity Local 6.
One of the biggest factors in your child's learning experience, whether it's bookwork or athletics, is their vision. Doctors Glenn and Skinner and the skilled staff at Benton Eye Care Clinic are here to help you see a better world. And they want everyone to have access to quality eye care. For thorough, visual, and comprehensive eye exams, call our optometric physicians and staff at Benton Eye Care Clinic at 501-778-2020. For quality eye care close to home on Highway 5 next to the Long Hills entrance, Benton Eye Care Clinic.
Family-owned businesses are the backbone of a growing economy. For over 40 years, family-owned Warwick's Hydraulics has specialized in manufacturing and repairing welded hydraulic cylinders and making them to exact specifications for customers all over the country. This work is guaranteed and they ship anywhere in the USA. Warwick's Hydraulics, machine specialist and proud sponsor of Benton Panther football. Call Warwick's Hydraulics today at 501-316-3156 or email them at warwicks@live.com. Dependability is their family tradition.
Jones Heating and Air, located at 520 Edison Avenue in Benton, specializes in residential, commercial, and new construction HVAC systems and offers 24-hour service. Jones is a proud supporter of Benton Panther Athletics, the Saline County Boys and Girls Club, and youth sports at Benton's Riverside Park. Find out more at jonesheatingandair.com or call 501-778-3324.
Welcome back to the West Memphis Blue Devils Stadium, where it's a tie ball game, 3-3 at halftime. Benton Panthers and the West Memphis Blue Devils in the semifinals of the 6A division here on a very cool and almost rainy night. It's a little bit wet out there, but we're joined on the Farmers Bank and Trust halftime show by three members, all seniors of the Benton dance team. Girls, welcome in.
Thanks.
We have Abby Penn and Shelby Lynch on mic right now. We'll have Leslie Huggs join in here in just a minute. But so far, tell us what's going on with this game.
Well, we're tied.
We're tied?
And
okay.
It kind of seems to just keep going back and forth, but I feel like our boys are playing really, really strong tonight, and that makes me happy. I have a good feeling.
Yeah. Well,
I have a really good feeling going into halftime.
It's been a very physical football game.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to ask you guys, what's it like being down there on the sidelines versus being up in the stands for this year?
Oh, my gosh. It is a night and day difference, and definitely 1,000 million times better. Because not only are you're just right there with the boys. You get to see them go over there and watch the film of what they just did. You're really more included in their atmosphere with the boys.
And Shelby, I know last year, the cheerleaders having to move around from side to side, and you get one half here and one half there. But now with you guys, there's enough of you. You can kind of cover the whole stands.
Yes, for sure. The cheerleaders and us do a really good job. We make sure that we include the whole crowd, so one of us will go in right, left, and make sure we kind of get everyone in there.
So I want to go into I want to ask Leslie kind of what she thinks about the atmosphere here in West Memphis versus what we see at Benton and the pregame and all of the hype and the music. And is there a better place to play football than our stadium anywhere that you've been?
I think that there's nothing like playing at our home stadium. I just think it's such a great atmosphere. And I love playing away games, but I love performing at halftime and getting that home game experience. But being in the playoffs, I think it's great, another great experience while being in West Memphis playing in the semifinals.
I want to ask you, a win tonight, where we go back to?
War Memorial. And I got to say, that's probably the only other place that's better to perform than our home place.
You like performing there?
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Okay.
It's phenomenal experience.
It's kind of like you get that college feel.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother level of a performance.
Well, it's a bigger stadium. And so what are the odds? And I'm going to ask this to Shelby Lynch. I want to ask her this question. Benton wins tonight. We saw that Bryant was ahead of Fort Smith Northside. And I know you got some friends over there at Bryant. You all do.
Yes.
What would it be like to have back-to-back 6A, 7A championship games with Benton and Bryant in back-to-back games?
Honestly, for Saline County, I think that'd be really awesome, and especially if we won.
Yeah. Well, even if both teams didn't win, I think we would set an all-time record crowd, because that's what had happened before the Salt Bowl broke the record at War Memorial Stadium. You had a situation where you had back-to-back playoff games with some major Razorback recruits playing, and they got to count both of the crowds for both games in that whatever $30,000 total, and then that's been shattered by the Salt Bowl. But you're talking about the Salt Bowl crowd plus in a state championship game with Benton and Bryant both playing in their respective divisions. So I think that would be a pretty awesome situation. I want to go back a little ways. You three have been together a long time.
Yes,
You've been dancing together on the same team since the 8th grade when it first started. You've known each other a lot longer than that. Yeah. And talk about what that experience has been like for you, the three of you making it through all the way to senior year.
I think it's been a really great experience for us three. We have always just had each other. I came to Benton in 6th grade, so I was not with them in elementary school, but I was at the same studio with them. So I knew them, and I knew their personalities, and we just clicked as soon as we made that dance team together in junior high.
There's been some pretty good football seasons along the way, too, and I think you guys may be the good luck charm because these seniors, they've won a lot of football games in the last 5 years. And I want to ask, just for people listening at home, how important – you go back, Shelby, you've been in dance since three. How important is that when you get to high school? You've got to learn so many dances, and you've got to be good at so many things between performing on the field, state championships, and all the regional competitions that you guys do in the fall, and then nationals that you'll be going to the end of January. You got basketball season coming up. You can't just learn 1 or 2 performances.
I think if you ever plan on trying out for dance team, it's very important to get in the studio while you're young, kind of like we did, so that when you get to high school or junior high dance teams, you're not shocked by all the dances that you have to learn, and it's just,
Yeah, and that's an important part of being on the dance team. You've got to be able to do a lot of different things. So I was at the 6A dance competition.
Well, of course.
You guys are in a very, very difficult division.
Oh, yeah, 19 teams.
Yeah, and they were 19 pretty good teams, too. And one of the things that I notice is the differences. You compete in pom, you compete in kick, you have jazz, and the newest division now, hip-hop.
Yeah.
And those are 4 very different skill sets.
Oh, absolutely.
And completely and totally different.
Absolutely. That is why studio is so crucial, because you're getting all the technique that you're going to need to compete at studio. And when we go to state, and let's talk about nationals, those are girls that are competitively every single day dancing in a studio together. It's a culture from where they're from, and they're back-to-back national champions, and that's what it takes.
You talk about culture and talk about, the Benton dance team. Numbers down a little bit this year.
Oh, yeah.
But, Leslie, when we talk about that Friday night experience that you described, for people listening, I mean, aren't you glad you stuck with it?
Yes,
and you stayed with it. And now here you are a senior. There's a program that you guys started this year. They used to have Pep Stepper for a day. You got Pep Stepper for a season now. Tell us about that with these younger girls.
Well, every home game, we started a new fundraiser this year with cheer, and you sign up your girl. You just have to pay $5 or $6.
They want a tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo on their face, and you can bring your child to the gate, and we can take them on the track, and they can cheer with us for a quarter. They can cheer with us for third quarter. Yeah.
And how big of a deal is that to those young girls?
Oh my gosh.
Such a big deal. They look up to us, and it's just really cool seeing that and actually seeing it firsthand.
Well, and I think one thing that made me want to stay on dance team was because I had an older brother. I grew up coming to Panther games, and it's all I've ever known.
Yeah.
And so you're starting that culture, which is so crucial young.
Yeah, and we saw Dio Vanucci and that gang with the Panther Developmental Football League start doing the jerseys. And Will, I want to ask Shelby about that. How do you feel when you see all those young boys, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, coming to the stadium, wearing those jerseys, enjoying Panther games, and joining in that experience?
I think that's awesome that Benton gives little kids an opportunity to do that so that they can look up to Panther football players and see what a great program that we're running here in Benton.
Yeah, and so it's all around. It's our support staff. It's what you guys do. It's what our players do. And I tell you, I don't know if we've ever had a more exciting time to be a Benton Panther. Here we are in the semifinals, and all of our programs going strong as we approach the midway point of the halftime show here at Farmers Bank and Trust. Jim and Terry will be back in a minute with some halftime stats, but I want to ask you guys this. Next year, what are you going to do?
Well, I plan to go to the University of Central Arkansas, and I'm going to try out for their dance team.
Okay. Shelby Lynch.
I plan on going to the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville.
Okay.
I plan on going to Henderson State University.
Okay. So college for everybody all around. Is that right? Talk about how important being on the dance team, teamwork, participation in school activities, whether it's band, football. We see the ROTC on Friday nights at our home stadium. Cheer, dance. How important is it to be involved in something with your school?
I think it's very important to keep you involved and knowing what's going on around the school so you can stay up in things. I think it's very good for your high school career just to make new friendships and all sorts of things.
And Shelby, I got to think it looks good on a resume when you're applying to colleges.
When you're applying to colleges, if you plan on rushing, if you plan on trying out for sports, anything, it'll look awesome if you're involved in some sort of group activity, leader of activity, etc.
Yeah, and the fact that you did it all the way through, and it shows that you're going to stick with something and stay with it, and you guys have been great coming out here. You've been great leaders, and we enjoy your performances every week at halftime. And before you go, I want to ask you about basketball season. It's a total change when you get in there and you get to perform at halftime. So for anybody at home who missed the dance team this year at the football games, hopefully you'll be at War Memorial Stadium next week. But talk about, Leslie, the basketball games.
Well, the basketball games, we have a girls' game and a boys' game. Depending on if it's home or away, we'll have one once or twice a week, just depends. Well, we perform a new dance every week. We go to camp in the summer, and we each learn 2 dances. So we take those dances that we learn and teach them to the rest of the team, and we get it together, and we perform it at the boys' game, at the basketball game.
So that's where that senior leadership kind of comes in.
Oh, for sure. We have to teach.
Yeah, you have to teach.
And I think it's good to come watch us at basketball games because it's a totally different dance because we're limited on some things that we can do out there on the turf just because our jazz shoes, obviously the turf moves under them,
Yep.
but on the court, that's what we perform on.
Yep.
So that's where we can really turn. That's when we can really execute our best skills.
No rain, no snow,
No.
no wind, no cold weather.
Exactly.
I got to think you guys are looking forward to basketball season right now.
I'm not going to lie to you. As of tonight, yeah, I mean, of course, I would love to go to War Memorial first, but I definitely think that it's going to be nice to just be in a controlled atmosphere.
And it'd be nice to get back to War Memorial after what happened the last time.
I want to end on a good note.
Yeah,
I want to leave with a good memory.
And that would be something that would work out great for us.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, listen, thank you guys for what you do, for your leadership, and for showing up at every game, supporting our football team, supporting our basketball team, being leaders in the school. And more importantly, thanks for being my away guests on my halftime show. It's a hard slot to fill after Thanksgiving on the road on a cold and windy and rainy night. So thank you guys for coming in. Leslie Huggs, Shelby Lynch, and what was your name again?
Oh, good one, Dad.
The homecoming queen, Abby Penn. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a 2-minute commercial break here on the Farmers Bank and Trust halftime show. But when we come back, we're going to have Jim Gardner and Terry Benton with Tony Linehan. They're going to be breaking down the first half of the game as we continue. Tied 3-3 here, 7 minutes to go until the second half starts. You're listening to Benton Panther football on Fidelity Local 6 and 106.7 The Ride.
Any lasting structure begins with a good blueprint, and every good blueprint must be designed specifically for the people it serves. The Benton Event Center, Riverside Park, and the new Boys and Girls Club, all designed by the professional architects at Black, Corley, Owens, and Hughes. They understand the Benton community and are a major part of our economic success. Proud sponsors of Benton Panther football and valued partners for our community.
The Everett difference is much more than just vehicle sales and service. It's also our commitment to helping those who help others. like those who work to build communities, those who help to enrich the lives of children, those who provide a loving home to kids in need, and those who lend a helping hand when you need it. It's a privilege to work with these wonderful organizations, and we're grateful for everything they do. That's the Everett difference. Everett Buick GMC.
Allied Glass is a full-service glass shop located in historic downtown Benton. Allied Glass is a third-generation business and family-owned and operated since 1967. Mirrors, shower doors, commercial storefronts, auto glass repair and replacement, tabletops, screens, plexiglass, and much more. For all your glass needs, call Allied Glass at 501-778-6244, located at 115 East Sevier in downtown Benton.
ACDI is Benton proud. We have a long history of community involvement and activism in Benton and the Saline County area. It's why we're excited to be relocating our business here and building our new headquarters in the downtown area. We're proud to sponsor the Benton Touchdown Club. Go Panthers!
Welcome back to Hamilton Schultz Field in West Memphis, Arkansas. It is halftime. The Benton Panthers and West Memphis Blue Devils are knotted at 3 in tonight's state semifinal matchup. As we look at the scores of games across the state, the Bryan Hornets lead the Fort Smith Northside Grizzlies at halftime 14-0. So the Hornets 2 quarters away from playing for a state championship. In the other 6A state semifinal game, Greenwood leads Sylvan Hills at halftime 13-7. So a lot of defense being played in 6A and 7A. Not the case down in 5A as Little Rock Christian leads Morrilton 42-14. Harrison and Pulaski Academy, that game is 38-35. PA leading Harrison, and that game not at halftime yet. Another team that the Panthers played earlier in the year, Arkadelphia, leads Stuttgart at halftime 14-0 in the Class 4A state playoffs. Terry, let's go to the stat sheet. And that was a game for the first 24 minutes here tonight. A defensive struggle. West Memphis 8 first downs, Benton 5. West Memphis 22 rushes for 92 yards. The Panthers 12 rushes for 57 yards. Benton 58 yards passing, West Memphis 23. West Memphis just 3 of 10 passing in that first half. Benton 7 of 19. So the total offense dead even. 115 yards for the Panthers, 115 for West Memphis. Boy, the defense doing a good job getting off the field on third down. West Memphis just 1 of 6 on third down conversions. The Panthers 3 of 9. Benton was 0 of 1 on fourth down, and that was that first possession of the ball game that gave West Memphis good field position for the balance of the first quarter. West Memphis 1 of 2 on fourth down conversions. Just 3 penalties for 15 yards against the Panthers, 2 for 18 against West Memphis, and the possession time basically even. So it's been kind of a defensive tug-of-war in the first half.
Well, it has. It's kind of like 2 prize fighters, you know, feeling each other out, but I don't expect that to hold. I think they'll come out slinging it in the second half and trying to force some things to happen. And, you know, one of the stats that jumps out at me is the total snaps. You know, 31 for Benton and 32 for West Memphis. And, you know, anytime there's such an even distribution of snaps, you're typically going to have a close football game, and that's certainly the case right now. The penalties, you know, Benton bailed themselves out of their penalties. We had some penalties, Jim, but 3 for 15 yards, but they all came right there in that bunch, and then Brown was able to execute a few downs and get us out of that situation and get us down the field. And so that didn't hurt us, but the one stat that's not on the page is the drop passes. We had about 6, 3 of those for first downs, and one of them arguably, Jim, could have gone for a touchdown.
Yeah, the Russellville redo on the pass to Garrett Body on Garrett Brown's first snap of the ball game. As we look individually, Zach Wallace had 12 carries for 57 yards in that first half. Passing Garrett Brown, 3 of 11 for 32 yards. Colin Morrow, the senior who started the football game, was 4 of 8 passing for 26 yards in the first half. Panthers receiving, as we pull it back up, Michael Allison, 2 catches, 22 yards. Gavin Wells, 2 catches, 17 yards. Garrett Body had a catch for 14 yards. Braxton Slaughter, 1 catch for 3 yards. And Zach Wallace had 1 catch for 2 yards. For West Memphis, Latavian Thomas carried 12 times for 45 yards in the first half. Kelvin Love, 5 carries for 30 yards. Owens McConnell, the junior quarterback for West Memphis, 3 of 10 passing for 23 yards. And as we look down the stat sheet, Devin Holloway touched the football 1 time for 19 yards in that first half receiving, had 1 carry for 4 yards. So the Benton defense really doing a good job shutting him down, Terry.
Well, they really did, and they put some pretty good licks on him too. I saw him get up kind of slow a couple of times, and that's the kind of physical play that our defense is going to have, and hopefully we'll continue to do that in the second half.
So the Panther offense averaging 42 points a game, limited to just 3 in that first half. As we go down to Dio, and he is ready to visit with the head Panther, Brad Harris.
Ball game, I'm going to assume that's what you told your team at halftime. What's the mood like in the locker room?
Hey, we're good. We're good. We're right where we feel like we need to be with these guys. You know, they're the ones that are probably pushing the panic button a little bit. We were not supposed to be here. They're undefeated. They're the 1 seed in their conference and all that good stuff. We've missed some opportunities in the first half that we feel like we should possibly be up on and everything. Defense is playing well. We just got to continue to play solid defense. We're going to hit some plays against these guys at some point. We just got to lock in. We're making a few mental mistakes. Just like last week, I think we made a few corrections and hopefully got some guys right mentally. But we're excited where we're at. We're in good shape. There's nobody pushing the panic button or anything. We're ready to roll.
Excellent. And rain stopped. So now let's catch some footballs. That's right.
Dio, before we leave you, tell us what you're looking for in the second half.
Well, we missed a lot of good plays, a lot of drop balls. That 3 for 11, 4 of 8. That wasn't necessarily all on the quarterbacks. There's a lot of drop balls in there. They don't have any excuses anymore. There's no rain. There's nothing falling, no precipitation. The wind's picked up a little bit, but we've played in much stiffer winds than this. So what I'm looking to see is us take some shots downfield. Justin Ray hasn't opened up the trick bag yet, so I think we're going to see that. They're going to pull out all the stops here in this second half, try to take down these Blue Devils at their house.
West Memphis will receive to start the second half. Appreciate so much Farmers Bank and Trust and their sponsorship of the halftime show all season long. We appreciate Everett Buick GMC for their sponsorship of Benton football this year. Everett Buick GMC, the Panther pregame sponsor. Bethel Smiles Dentistry is our post-game sponsor. You'll want to hang with us after this game concludes for the Bethel Smiles Dentistry post-game show. And Cornerstone Home Lending, who recognizes the offensive and defensive MVPs for the Panthers each week. And Terry, I think about the defensive MVP. Boy, that defense with as good a half as we've seen since about week 6.
Yeah, it really has, and the plays have been distributed too. Everybody's playing really well. Dylan Burnham stepping up and making some big plays, and you know, Ty Nethery moving to the inside and providing that push up front. And that may not show up on the stat sheet, but you know, it's a big deal on the offensive line when you have that push in the center and you can blow up everything coming inside.
Really like hearing Brad Harris's confidence, though. That was a confident head coach coming out of the locker room.
And honestly, that's the first time we've heard him that confident in 3 or 4 weeks. And so it's great. You can tell that they feel like that they're in this ball game and they've got West Memphis where they want them.
The old adage is defense wins championships, and both defenses played championship football in that first half as West Memphis will receive to open the second half. And Terry, this is going to be very important to watch. Benton is going to kick off into the wind. The Panthers will have the wind in the fourth quarter. You don't want Devin Holloway getting a chance at a return right here.
Well, I'm hopeful that they will just kick it to me because that's the safest place that we've got on this kickoff.
Terry, I'm going to run down here and I'm going to let Coach Rusty Davis know that's where he needs to kick it, is up in the press box.
Just kick it right to me.
Speaking of press box, Tony Linehan of the Saline Cougar, boy, what a blessing he's been all season long with the stats and all his help. He does such a great job covering Benton athletics for the Saline Cougar. And appreciate Tony's help all year long. Michael Gober, Kendrick Ollison, Marcus Robinson braving the elements here tonight, doing a great job on the cameras for the Fidelity Local 6 broadcast. Of course, Matt Johnson, the best director in Arkansas high school football. When Mason Woolbright, Jonathan Webb, Barrett Pfeiffer, and Morgan Garrett down in the truck as Garrett Eason squibs this one. The Panthers come up with it as Terry Jones plucked that one, and the Panthers have the football at the 34-yard line.
Oh,
wow.
What a play. What a play.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, right before that happened, that was awesome. One of the coaches walked over to me and said, hey, watch this. That's all he said.
Thanks for the heads up, Dio.
As the Panthers come out with a little trickeration in special teams, and Terry Jones came up with it on the bounce, and Benton has it 1st and 10 at the Blue Devil 37.
Hey, sometimes the ball bounces just the right way, and that time the Panthers caught one.
Garrett Brown is your Benton quarterback to open the second half. He gives to Zach Wallace running right, and Zach hits the line, stopped at the 37, no gain.
I do want to say that Garrett Eason had a little bit to do with how that ball bounced.
Oh, no, two ways
because
about it.
he hit that thing absolutely perfectly. It's designed to roll, and then boom, up. There it is.
2nd down and 10 for the Panthers. This Panthers going to option right, pitch to Zach Wallace running right. Zach running hard as he lowers his shoulder over the 35. Going to be forced out of bounds at the 29-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down and 2 Benton.
Man, when he gets about a 5-yard head start, he is just a punishing runner.
It's a physical game.
3rd down and 2 for the Panthers. Ball on the right hash as Benton moves right to left in this 3rd quarter. Body, Slaughter, and Wells split to the near side. Allison, the lone receiver, to the far side. Wallace to the left of quarterback Garrett Brown, and Wallace gets the carry coming left, and Wallace going to be tackled by Curtis Hill, the middle linebacker at the 28, so it'll be 4th down and 1 for Benton.
Oh, boy. You just wanted him to get through that last tackle there and get the 1st down. Big play right here for the Panthers.
Put big
Huge
R.J.
play.
Parker in at noseman, the 5'9", 290-pound senior. It's 4th down and 1. Gavin Wells gets it on the jet sweep. A marker thrown by the linesman across the way. Wells has the 1st down at the 23 if the play stands.
He made a little hop over a defender, too.
Yeah, he did.
Afraid this one's coming back.
And the penalty's an illegal shift against Benton, going to back the Panthers up 5, and that'll make it 4th down and 6.
Unreal.
Well, that play would have probably worked.
Did y'all see the shift?
The 6? I didn't see it.
I was watching the flag that Landon Trusty threw about 50 feet high.
Yeah, we didn't get set, I think, on the right side is what they were saying.
So 4th down and 6 for the Panthers following the penalty. Panther offense on the field. Slaughter and Body to the left. Wells and Allison to the right. Now Wells motions right to left. Panthers going to set up the throwback screen to Wells, who makes the catch, and Wells is not going to. Well, he broke the tackle. Look at Gavin Wells.
Oh, my goodness.
What determination. 1st down Panthers as Gavin Wells with heart and with effort picks up the 1st down.
Hey, I want to tell you this, flag that play right there.
Yeah, I was fixing to say, Matt Johnson, you'll want to keep that one for the end of the game because, wow.
3-3, 10:32 to go in the 3rd quarter. Gavin Wells with a pure effort 1st down for the Panthers at the West Memphis 22. Zach Wallace carries Blue Devils down to the 16. A gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
I saw Matt McBride in the concourse coming up, and I asked him, what are we going to do? He said, look, we're going to run the football. That's what we're going to do.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Lean on those linemen going both ways for West Memphis. 2nd down and 4 for the Panthers at the Blue Devil 16. Panthers recovered an onside kick here to open the second half, and the give to Zach Wallace running right. He's able to turn the corner. Cordell Finner is going to ride him out of bounds near the first down marker. Going to be just a bit short. It's going to be third and less than a yard.
Now, I haven't seen very many plays like this against West Memphis on some of the film. In the very, very short yardage situation, it'll be interesting to see what their defense does right here.
Panthers in the red zone, 3rd down and 1. Give to Zach Wallace, and Zach is going to be hit, and he's going to be dropped short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down as Kendarius Moore, the junior linebacker, makes the stop, and the Panthers bring in the heavy package. Kyrie Watkins on the field. Kevin Carroll on the field. Kelby Caffrey and Garrett Body will be your wide receivers. Gavin Wells will take the snap with Zach Wallace in the backfield with him. Carroll and Watkins set to the right in twin sniffer back formation. Wells takes the snap. Wells keeps. Wells first down. Wells touchdown, Benton Panthers. What a series by Gavin Wells as he punches it in on 4th and 2 from 14. What heart, Gavin Wells.
Somebody get that young man a cape.
Yeah. No
Holy
kid.
smokes, he's Superman.
He literally is.
Unbelievable.
You don't see that in high school football ever. This kid's incredible.
Gavin Wells with 2 incredible plays on that drive. Is Garrett Eason on for the PAT. Good hold by Wells. Eason drills it, and with 8:43 to go in the 3rd quarter, it is Benton 10 and West Memphis 3 as we go down to the sideline. Wow, Dio, you had a front row seat for the Gavin Wells show.
I mean, that was the Gavin Wells show, and not that this team needed a spark after that onside kick, but Gavin Wells says forget the spark, let's pour gasoline on the sidelines and strike up the Zippos. I mean, he fired this sideline up. John Penn is amazed at another one of my awesome analogies. I can see his body language in the booth right now.
Well, I tell you, I'd gone down to the concession restroom area at halftime right before they ran out, and I'm going to tell you what, I've never seen this Panther team as fired up as they were when they came out of there and took the field for the second half.
9-play, 37-yard touchdown drive. It started with a Garrett Eason onside kick that Terry Jones recovered. Garrett Brown completed a screen pass to Gavin Wells on that drive on 4th down and 6 that Gavin took for 11 yards, and then Gavin punched it in from 13 yards out. 3 minutes, 15 seconds on the drive, and Benton leads it 10-3 as Garrett Eason kicks off. There's the squibber again.
He got it.
There
he got it.
Recovers again, and the momentum is in maroon and white. Wow, Brad Harris, roll the dice.
Where's Pulaski Academy at? I mean, this is a game. This is a game that the Bruins would be proud of.
Holy cow. That is almost the exact same play as the last one.
And it's all about that bounce. You've got to hit that perfect. So when it gets about 10 yards, it bounced straight up in the air. You've got to give your kicker credit, Garrett Eason, for the way he's hitting that ball.
I think Brad Harris's second half game plan was let's just not let West Memphis ever have the football again.
So, hey, guys, if they're not going to change their kickoff or kickoff coverage alignment and get somebody in the middle of that field right there, I guarantee you Coach Harris is going to do it until they try to stop it.
So 1st down Benton at the Blue Devil 40-yard line as the Panthers change quarterbacks, bring Colin Morrow back in. Zach Wallace is set to his right. Handoff. No, Morrow pulls. Morrow keeps. Morrow into the secondary. Morrow in the red zone all the way down to the West Memphis 15-yard line.
Great run by Colin Morrow, and what a great pull, John. He was reading there.
He really
saw the right read and just went right up the middle for that middle option. Beautiful play.
24 yards on the gain. Give to Gavin Wells on the jet sweep. And there goes Gavin. That time he can't break the tackle of Cordell Finner at the 15-yard line, but he does pick up a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Great time, great play that time as they were running that jet sweep out. And it was a good play call, but West Memphis just had the edge covered up there.
I know Justin Ray really, really excited about Colin Morrow in the run game this week. And we saw Collins spring it for 24 yards on the first run of this drive. Give this time to Zach Wallace, who bounces it outside to the right. And Zach going to be down to the 10-yard line. And it is going to be 3rd down and 4 Panthers as we see the heavy package with Watkins and Carroll check back in. Kelby Caffrey will be a receiver, and Gavin Wells will take the snap.
Yeah, Garrett Body comes off limping a little bit. He looks like he's dinged a little bit.
So the Panthers short a receiver now in the formation as Garrett Body had to check out, and it looks like Brad Harris is going to take a time out. So he's going to let that play clock continue to tick down. Snap clock at 9, at 8, game clock at 7:10. Benton leading 10-3, facing a 3rd down and 4 at the West Memphis 10-yard line, and now the Panthers do take a timeout with 7:07 to go in the 3rd quarter, and we take it down to the Panther sideline in D.O. Okay, D.O.'s not with. He's down there celebrating those onside kicks. D.O., you with us?
Well, we're down here having a talk amongst us media members. We're just discussing the finer points of covering high school football on a Friday night in the playoffs.
Are you trying to fight the Blue Devil again?
Yeah, we're down here fighting the Blue Devils. See, I don't expect you to come down to me during timeouts, and I should. I need to start paying better attention, so I apologize for that.
Well, I love the aggressive play call. You can obviously see the strategy that Brad Harris wants to happen here. You're going to run the football, you're going to run the clock, we're going to control this game, and we're going to take control, and we're going to make West Memphis play our football game.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of beating West Memphis at their own game.
Absolutely.
They kind of like to ugly it up in the pit, and the Panthers doing that here in the second half on the strength of 2 Terry Jones onside kick recoveries. It is 3rd down and 4 Panthers at the West Memphis 10-yard line as the Panthers going to shift. There goes Jensen White way out wide to the right with Kyvan Carroll. Kelby Caffrey's in the slot to the near side. Wells an empty backfield. That's a tackle-eligible play. Wells is going to keep it, and Wells is going to have the first down on the scramble inside the 5 to the 4.
Yeah, and Jensen White with the Thanksgiving Day pancake. They put him out wide, not as a decoy. They know that when Wells runs outside, you got one of the best blockers in the 6A out there, and he absolutely leveled the outside man and created that lane for Wells.
So 1st and goal Benton at the West Memphis 4-yard line as Wells is going to continue to operate at quarterback. Has Zach Wallace to his left. High snap. Wells pulls it down. Gives to Zach, who runs to the end zone. Touchdown Panthers with 6:50 to go in the 3rd quarter, and the Benton lead now 2 scores at 16-3.
And we've not seen the Blue Devils down 2 scores yet this year in the second half, have we?
No, we haven't.
And so we're going to get to see how they do it playing from behind. They've struggled in the passing game.
Struggled in the onside kick recovery game here in this second half, and it has been all Panthers to open the 3rd quarter as Garrett Eason's extra point is up, and it sneaks inside of the right upright good, and it is now 17-3. Benton leads it with 6:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. I tell you, Terry, you couldn't ask for a better second half start.
Well, you couldn't, especially when you consider that you're kicking off to them into the wind.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about as good as it gets. And let's see what the Panthers do on this. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and lean back out and see if I can catch the next
get out of your way.
kickoff.
I'll tell you.
Because it's worked so well the last 2 times, we might as well keep doing it.
This was a great crowd here tonight. West Memphis stands with a lot of fans. Benton traveled very well.
Oh,
which
yeah.
Is no surprise because Benton's known as a very good traveling team with their crowd. This West Memphis crowd has gone absolutely silent. And, well, I'll tell you what, he kind of sucked the air out of this stadium.
West Memphis does make an adjustment. They put Monteque Hill up just beyond the 50-yard line in the center of the field. Garrett Eason has it teed in the center of the field. We've seen back-to-back onside kicks recovered by Benton's Terry Jones to open the second half. Benton has cashed in on both to take a 17-3 lead. Garrett Eason approaches the ball, and this time he's going to boom it back deep. That ball's going to be fielded by Devin Holloway at the 10. Holloway over the 20, comes to the near side. Holloway tries to get outside. Boy, that is a great tackle, Preston Barker in special teams.
That is a huge play on Preston Barker's part.
Give that man his letter right now.
So West Memphis will snap it for the first time in the second half. Benton has snapped it 14 times, 77 yards, Terry, after just 115 in the first half.
Hey, that's when you can get down and you can grind that football. I mean, it's great. It's great that we have a deep passing attack, but man, when you can control the game like we're doing, it's a big deal.
Ty Nethery, Kaufman, and Trey Maxwell, the front three for Benton defensively. Is West Memphis going to drop back? Owens McConnell looking. Owens McConnell throwing. Nobody there is Devin Holloway. And covered by the Panthers. We've got a marker back at the 27-yard line thrown by the referee as the officials are going to visit.
May get us with a late hit.
Terry's right, a personal foul, roughing the passer coming up against Benton, going to give West Memphis 15 yards and a first down at the Blue Devil 45.
I love the aggressive play, but it's just an unnecessary penalty.
First down and 10 West Memphis as the Panthers now with 4 down linemen as Kyvan Carroll moves to a defensive end spot. Owens McConnell fakes to Thomas, drops back and throws. Ball hit his receiver, Jatavius Tucker, bounced up in the air, incomplete as Kelby Caffrey, Devin Griffin over in coverage for Benton. It'll be second down and 10, and there's a drop for West Memphis, Terry.
Yeah, and a big drop. They had a little momentum after that penalty, and he was wide open and dropped that pass. That's going to cost them.
Trips to the left, single receiver to the right. Fake to Thomas, throw to Kearney in the center of the field, and he can't hold on to it as Cameron Ross lit him up in midfield.
There's a reason he couldn't hold on to it.
Man, that may be the hit of the year right there.
That was vicious.
So third down and 10, and the momentum, all Panthers here in this second half. You see the enthusiasm for the Benton defense as they move Thomas to the right of Owens McConnell. Benton with 3 down linemen. John?
We're in that nickel.
Got Garrett Body in coverage on Devin Holloway. Looking for Holloway. Body staying with him. Overthrows him as Devin Griffin made a diving attempt at the interception. Incomplete, and it's 4th and 10.
Devin Griffin also making a great defensive play there. And stride for stride that time with the speedy wide receiver Holloway down the sidelines.
Well, you saw Garrett Body play some defense in 7-on-7 this summer, and you knew that little nickelback package was going to be something to watch tonight. Garrett's done a great job on defense.
Great preparation.
Has a fumble recovery for Benton defensively tonight on 4th down and 10. West Memphis lines up to punt. Caden Smith is going to punt it away. Almost blocked Cameron Ross. Kelby Caffrey receives the punt at his own 24, returns it to the 32. That's 8 yards on the return, and Benton will have the football. First down and 10, leading 17-3, and we go down to Dio Vanucci.
Guys, after that defensive stop, I mean, I'm telling you, the energy in the stands back behind me and the energy on the sideline here, if you could bottle it, you could sell it by the gram. I mean, these guys are fired up. I hope that we finish this game out with a win and we can carry some of this energy over into next week versus Greenwood, because these guys are playing inspired football right now.
Try not to use the metric system. Say ounces or something. They don't.
First down and 10, Panthers at their own 31, 6:08 to go in the third quarter. And Benton leads at 17-3. Garrett Brown back in at quarterback, throws for Zach Wallace, who makes the catch. And Zach, boy, he was just about to break away before Jaden Thomas was able to trip him up at the 34.
Yeah, he was close that time to turning that corner and being down the sidelines.
What a good catch by Zach Wallace, who had to go down low that time to receive the football. A gain of 3. It's 2nd down and 7 Panthers at their own 34-yard line. As Gavin Wells comes in motion, they give it to Zach Wallace, and Zach running hard to the 40-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 2.
Boy, that's a very generous spot for West Memphis that time, as I thought Zach got all the way up to the 40-yard line. They spotted him on the 39. Leaves a long 3rd and 2.
Jensen White, Austin Jones, Joshua George, Tristan Redd, and James Durling doing a good job on that Panther offensive line here in this second half. 3rd down, give to Zach Wallace. Zach's got the 1st down to the 48-yard line. That Panther offensive line, John, winning the battle up front.
Yeah, everybody that time had a one-on-one battle, and every offensive lineman on this team won it.
Well, for you Panther fans that are tuned in, like Mayor David Mattingly and Councilman Jerry Ponder, here's a combination you're going to see next year too.
DeAnthony Harper checks in at running back as Brown takes the snap, gives to D-Buddy. D-Buddy over midfield. D-Buddy breaks a couple of tackles. D-Buddy down to the Blue Devil 41, a gain of 11 and a 1st down, and D-Buddy comes up flexing.
And you're going to see also why Joshua George is going to UCA after this season. I'm telling you what, he plays like a grown man. He and Durling and Jensen White, they're having their way with this defensive line.
Treston Hawkins, the sophomore, doing a good job blocking in there from his H-back spot. It's 1st and 10, Benton at the West Memphis 41. Fake to D-Buddy. Panthers are going to take a shot as they air it out. Garrett Body on the comeback. Cannot make the play. Is Jaden Thomas in coverage at the 10-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Hey, you know, we've had some questionable officiating crews. That was a great job of officiating right there. There's a lot of contact down the sideline, but it was just hand checking and good physical football. It's a great no call.
Panthers with a lot of desire, a lot of want to here in this second half. Leading 17-3, facing 2nd and 10 at the Blue Devil 41. DeAnthony Harper is going to get the carry running right, and this time D-Buddy can't get away from Cordell Fenner. As Fenner, first one to meet him. R.J. Parker in there on the tackle as well, back at the 43. So now it's 3rd down and 12 Panthers with 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, and Benton leading 17-3.
Well, John, that time the West Memphis defensive line won that one.
They sure did.
But I'll tell you this, D-Buddy was running hard with that football.
3rd down and 12 Panthers as they balance the formation. 2 receivers to each side. Gavin Wells in motion. As Colin Morrow fakes. Morrow trying to set up the pass for Allison, and Allison can't quite get to it at the 20-yard line. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down and 12.
Well, that was just a little bit too long, which if you're going to miss, that's where you want it. And Morrow cast it just a little bit too long that time, but Allison had gotten behind that defense, which is hard to do, and it was just a little bit out of sync.
This is where you want to see Preston do one of his famous sideline punts. Angle it toward the sideline, get that rugby punt bounce.
Preston with 6 punts inside the 20 this year, and this would be a good time for number 7. It's Tyler Cochran to snap. Barker receives the snap, rugby punt to the right, and it's an end-over-ender that is going to land and roll inside the 20-yard line. Going to be down to the 11 by Kelby Caffrey. That's punt number 7 on the season, inside the 20 by Preston Barker. Perfect punt.
And that rugby style gives you an extra second or two for your gunners to get downfield and cover that. On a short punt, you really don't have to worry about a return. It's just very well executed on special teams.
So we go down to the Panther sideline real quickly as the Panther defense is ready, and we go down to D.O.
Yeah, Panther defense is still fired up, guys, and I have a feeling Coach Bobby Wynn over here has been talking these guys up, talking about don't let up, don't take your foot off the gas. So looking for the defense to continue doing what they've started this second half doing and really turning up the heat.
West Memphis going to bunch their receivers to the right. Ball on the left hash as the Blue Devils go left to right here in the third quarter. Snap back to Alloway in the Wildcat. Alloway tries to get outside. Terry Jones with the tackle. Boy, Terry is playing great tonight. Big tackle in the open field, Terry.
Man, a huge tackle. Was able to actually get outside. That's something that Pine Bluff's defense could not do last week, is get out and contain him, and that's just an excellent play by Terry Jones.
Gain of 6 for Alloway, the 4'4 speedster. He is going to be the Wildcat quarterback again as West Memphis goes power to the left, open field to the left. Alloway takes the snap and runs to the left, and Alloway's going to have the first down to the 25-yard line. And so it appears that the adjustment for West Memphis, John, is just get it in the hands of their playmaker.
And look, I like it. It makes sense. Because they've not had success throwing the ball. You're down 2 touchdowns. It's closing in on the end of the third quarter. This guy gives you your best chance to get back in this game.
I agree 100%. And you know, Jim and I were talking pregame. We didn't understand why this guy's not touching the ball 30 times a game.
He may touch it 30 times if they get that many snaps the remainder of this game, as he's probably going to be their Wildcat quarterback the remainder of the game. Alloway gets it. Boy, you can see just that quickness in the hole as Alloway going to pick up 5 yards to the 30. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Justin Walker replaces Ty Nethery on the Benton defensive line.
Well, the strategy here, it's very simple. You punish him. You make him earn it 5 yards at a time, and you punish him every time you hit him. You got to be physical with this guy to slow him down.
Gavin Davis punished him on that last tackle. 2nd down and 5. It's the clock now under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Benton leads 17-3. Owens McConnell going to check back in at quarterback for West Memphis. As the wind picks up, the Panther pressure picks up. Kaufman forces McConnell to run, and as he gets around the left edge, McConnell going to be tackled by Gallagher at the 34-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Yeah, 3rd and a short one, and boy, you wish that Gallagher would have just had one more step and been able to get over there and make that sack.
Kaufman and Walker in hot pursuit on that play as well. 3rd down and 1 for West Memphis. They send Alloway in motion. McConnell's going to keep. McConnell's hit behind the line to gain by Gallagher. Panther defense going to give him the 35-yard line. They're going to say 1st down.
Well, that's a generous spot.
John, the Panther defense flying to the football tonight.
Yeah, they had a chance to get him for a loss. They just couldn't quite make it.
McConnell a little slow to get up following that tough 1-yard gain for a 1st down as Caffrey, Davis, Ross all in there on the tackle for the Benton defense. And now they get Justin Walker to jump offside with the hard count, and that'll move it to the 40-yard line.
Well, that's what happens when you got a defense with their ears pinned back. And right now, the Panther defense is playing really, really tough and really, really aggressive.
So West Memphis makes a change on their offensive line. Put the big defensive end Mark Robinson in at offensive guard. Bring out Antonio Horde. 1st down and 5 for the Blue Devils following the offside penalty. McConnell drops back, throws. Good leaping catch by Jatavius Tucker, but he is tackled immediately by Devin Griffin at the 46. A gain of 6, and it'll be 1st down Blue Devils.
Another great coverage by Devin Griffin. You know, Devin Griffin has played excellent football this year, guys. I mean, he's got decent stats and all, but one thing that doesn't show up on the stat sheet is coverage. And he has absolutely been a blanket all season.
Leads the team in pass breakups with 9, tied for the team lead in interceptions with 5 as they give it off to Jatavian Thomas. And Thomas is going to carry into Benton territory to the Panther 49-yard line. A gain of 5, it'll be 2nd and 5.
You know, the clock continues to run, and we're making them earn it 5 yards at a time and kind of keep waiting for West Memphis to maybe slip up here and maybe make a mistake.
Final play of the third quarter as McConnell drops back. McConnell throws. McConnell had a man in the seam, and unable to bring it in was Jimmy Phillips as the clock stops with seconds left. Jumped the gun there on the final play, but John Phillips was open in the seam that time.
And that's what you can't do. You can't let them have a big play like that. You've got to make them earn it. Eventually, you're looking for a penalty, a fumble, an errant pass, something to force the Blue Devils to make a mistake here.
You saw Panthers doubling up Devin Holloway. Little miscommunication in the Panther secondary. It didn't hurt Benton as they give it off to Jatavian Thomas. And Thomas is going to have the first down to the Benton 41 as the third quarter clock runs out. There are 12 minutes to play. The Panthers 12 minutes away from a berth in the state championship game. Benton leads West Memphis tonight in the state semifinal 17-3. As we go to the fourth quarter tonight on 106.7 The Ride and Fidelity Local 6.
Hey, Panther fans, looking for a local dentist that cares? Look no further than Bethel Smiles. Benton native and Panther alum Dr. Justin Bethel and his staff are pleased to be back serving the community where it all began. Bethel Smiles is a full-service dental office, treating all ages and proudly offers the lowest cost braces in town. We realize at Bethel Smiles that your time and your teeth are precious, so most procedures can be performed the same day. So save time, save teeth, support local business, and schedule with Bethel Smiles today. Call to schedule your appointment at 501-778-4746. Bethel Smiles is a proud supporter of Benton Athletics.
Ashby Funeral Home has been family owned and operated, serving Benton and Saline County since 1882. Through 5 generations, Ashby Funeral Home has cared for families through compassionate and professional service. Ashby's provides all types of services for families in times of loss and grief. Their aim is to treat every family as they would treat their own. Ashby Funeral Home is located at 108 West Narrowway Street.
Memphis scores on a Jimmy Phillips touchdown. He caught the ball at the line of scrimmage, broke a couple of tackles, scored, but there is a penalty flag lying at the 30-yard line. It's a very nice play by Jimmy Phillips, the senior wide receiver for West Memphis. We'll see if the play stands. There's a block in the back against West Memphis. Will wipe out the touchdown. The West Memphis fans booing. Jimmy Phillips flips the ball to the official in frustration. And that time, laundry on the field benefiting the PDC, Terry.
Well, it's been a while since we had a penalty that benefited us, but what a great shake and move right there by Phillips, and then just launches himself down the sidelines. And that's the sad part about that penalty, is it had nothing to do with the play.
He broke a tackle from Devin Griffin and Kelby Caffrey, and that's the danger of these West Memphis wide receivers. Is Thomas is going to carry, breaks a tackle. Cameron Ross is going to wrap him up at the 35-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 3 for West Memphis. And boy, you don't want to count your chickens too soon here, guys, because you can see the explosiveness, John, of the West Memphis athletes in the skill positions.
Yeah, and that's why you've got to make them try to make a mistake, burn the clock. You just can't give up a big play like that, and fortunately, we got the call.
And I'd underestimated Phillips's speed.
He is their leading receiver coming into the game tonight with 27 catches on the season. As Monteque Hill will be the H-back to the right. Holloway in motion. They give it to Jatavian Thomas, and Thomas is going to have the first down to the Benton 31.
It's a good play fake that time. I thought Holloway had it on the jet sweep, and they gave it to Thomas right up the middle, and he got enough for that first down. Good hard run.
Kelby Caffrey, Cameron Ross, Kyvan Carroll, and Ty Nethery getting off the bottom of the pile for the Benton defense. It's 1st down and 10 West Memphis with 10:50 to go in the fourth quarter. Benton leads it 17-3. The Blue Devils have it at the Panther 31-yard line. McConnell drops back, looks right, pumps, throws, and it is caught for a touchdown as Jatavius Tucker hauled it in, and West Memphis is back within 1 score at 17-9.
That's a great throw and catch right there by the quarterback, catching him right there in the left or right-hand side there, John. And Terry kind of had his back turned to him, and he just couldn't turn around and see the football.
Jatavius Tucker with his 5th touchdown reception of the season for West Memphis. has cut the Benton lead to 17-9. Colin Clark on for the extra point. Tucker, who caught the touchdown, is the deep snapper. Mason Kearney to hold, and the kick is up. It is good. With 10:38 to go in the fourth quarter, all of a sudden what seemed to be a comfortable lead has been cut to 7. It's Benton 17 and West Memphis 10, and we go down to the sideline in Dio.
Yeah, even with a 2-score lead, you knew we couldn't get comfortable against an explosive West Memphis team. They've just got too many athletes over there. I mean, on the play that got called back, you saw what happened when a guy got just one step. That's all he needed, and he was absolutely gone down the sideline. So offense is going to need to come out here and do what they did the third quarter, and that's put some more points on the board, because a 1-score lead is nowhere near what we can walk away. I mean, we have to have another point scored, whether it's a field goal or something. This is a dangerous offense, and we just saw that.
Boy, the wind really picking up here at West Memphis here in the fourth quarter. As West Memphis is going to be kicking off into that wind. The Panthers with the wind at their back here in the fourth quarter. So Panthers with 8 men between the 50 and 30-yard line. Gavin Wells, Kelby Caffrey, and Garrett Body are the 3 deep men awaiting this kickoff from Colin Clark. As Clark puts his foot into it, kicks it high. The wind is knocking that football down. Gavin Wells, though, comes up and makes a sure-handed catch, and he's going to be tackled immediately. And that was not an easy play by Gavin Wells, but a heads-up play, John, as the wind just killed that kickoff.
Gavin Wells, he's a gamer, whether you on special teams, holding snaps, playing quarterback. I mean, he's a guy that can do a lot of different things, but sometimes it's the little things he does, Jim.
So first down and 10 Benton. They mark it at the Panther 35-yard line with 10:33 to go in the fourth quarter. And the senior quarterback, Colin Morrow, is going to take the snap. He's going to give it to Zach Wallace running left. Zach is outside, and Zach is going to have a first down as he picks up 13 yards on that carry to the 48.
Boy, big good run that time by Zach Wallace, but also, John, a great follow-through by Colin Morrow, because I really wasn't sure which one of them had the ball.
He sold that very well.
Braxton Slaughter is the H-back. Wallace set to the right of Colin Morrow on 1st and 10. Snap, give to Wallace. Wallace cuts to the right. He's into the West Memphis side of the field, down to the Blue Devil 46-yard line, and that's a 6-yard gain on first down. That Panther offensive line, Terry, really doing a great job in the second half.
Well, they sure are, and they're opening that hole, and you see right there, Wallace cuts back. Great job right there by Joshua George and James Durling.
2nd down and 4, give to Wallace. Wallace breaks a couple of tackles, makes another man miss. Sack down to the West Memphis 35-yard line, and that'll move the chains on an 11-yard gain.
Well, I like what the offense is doing here, because instead of slowing down and trying to run the clock and keep a lead, they're just attacking. It's very up-tempo. They're not giving West Memphis a chance to regroup, substitute, and for those linemen going both ways to breathe.
DeAnthony Harper replaces Zach Wallace in the Benton backfield on 1st and 10 at the Blue Devil 35. Here comes Harper running right. Harper inside the 20. Harper down to the 14-yard line, and Benton is just breaking the will of the West Memphis defense on this drive.
Boy, it's just strong man, lean on them, and make them quit right now.
Yeah, and we're running a pretty fast tempo here too, and can tell West Memphis with hands on their hips.
R.J. Parker, Hassani Adams, Mark Robinson, all going both ways on that line as Harper gets it, bounces it to the left. Harper down inside the 10-yard line, down to the West Memphis 8.
Well, I'll tell you, Harper's running very, very hard right now for a backup running back.
If you're an offensive lineman, this is the moment you live for.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Henry Hicks is in at right guard. D-Buddy with 27 yards on his last 2 carries. He's going to get it this time, and that time West Memphis was waiting on him on the edge, is making the tackle in the backfield. Kendarius Moore, a loss of 4, and Benton for the first time on this drive faces third down. It'll be third down and 7.
Well, you know, Moore is the only starting junior on that defense, and you can see why. He really, really has good eyes and runs quick to the edge.
Third down and 7 Panthers at the West Memphis 12-yard line. Gavin Wells in motion right to left. Morrow takes a snap, option left, pitch to Zach Wallace. Good blocking on the edge. Zach in the end zone. Touchdown Panthers on third down and 7. Zach Wallace to the end zone. How about the blocking, John, on the edge?
All the way, and give Garrett Body some credit. He was in the end zone. He sold that well. He gets his man turned around, and he just blocks him completely out of the play.
Braxton Slaughter absolutely did a fantastic job right there.
Blocking on Kendarius Moore, their outstanding outside linebacker. That's a Panther touchdown drive of 65 yards. It was all on the ground, 7 plays. Garrett Eason booms through the extra point, and with 8:10 to go in the football game, the Benton lead back to 2 scores at 24-10. Dio, that was as determined a drive as we've seen out of the Benton run game all year.
Call it determined, call it dominant, but that was awesome. Zach Wallace and DeAnthony both combining there to just exert their will on that West Memphis defense, but give credit to the offensive line, absolutely creating some holes. And then how about, like you guys just talked about, guys, you couldn't see it from your angle, but Gavin Wells came over and helped Braxton just seal that edge. And to be 145 pounds, to play like that guy plays, is really something special.
Yeah, we're going to, if this score holds, we're going to go back to that first possession of the second half.
You betcha.
And Gavin Wells making 2 plays with sheer determination that really swung the momentum to the Panther side. A couple of onside kick recoveries by Terry Jones. Boy, the Panthers have played so well in this second half, outscoring West Memphis 21-7, and the Panthers lead it 24-10 with 8:10 to go. 7 plays, 65 yards, and 2 minutes, 23 seconds on that drive. And what a response it was by the Benton offense after West Memphis had cut the Benton lead to 7. As Garrett Eason with the wind at his back, going to kick it off, and Garrett drives this one into the end zone for a touchback, and it'll be 80 yards in front of West Memphis.
Well, and credit Eason and the coaching staff. They figured out, look, when you get the pop on that kick, it's not going to make it to the end zone. We want you to start line drive kicking that football, and it worked. We've seen it twice tonight. That's a very good adjustment on special teams.
Yes, it is.
So he can get it there if you just let him soccer kick it.
He'd get a soccer ball there, too.
Yeah,
I promise
absolutely.
you.
The West Memphis offense walks onto the field. Owens McConnell going to drop back, throw for Kearney. That ball was deflected by Kyvan Carroll, and it is incomplete. And boy, you can see some deflation in the West Memphis attitude right now, Terry.
Yeah, you sure can, and you see that defense on the Panther side just playing with an extra set of energy. Kyvan Carroll almost came up with a really big play right there.
2nd down and 10 for the Blue Devils at their own 20-yard line. As McConnell looks to his left, throws for Jimmy Phillips, who makes the catch, and he's going to have the first down to the 31-yard line. Kyvan Carroll and Bryce Gallagher combine on the tackle.
See, we were talking about this yesterday and pregame today. You know, I feel that this is when West Memphis is at their most dangerous.
McConnell going to drop back again. Pressure from Dylan Burnham. McConnell forced to scramble, and McConnell bounces this one outside. Gavin Davis is finally going to tackle him from behind at the 41-yard line. Boy, Dylan Burnham was an eyelash away from a sack. McConnell ends up scrambling for 14 and a first down.
Well, McConnell makes all of the big fellas kind of proud right there.
He really does.
He showed little wheels.
First down and 10 for the Blue Devils as McConnell going to roll to the left, throw on the run to Kearney, who makes the catch, and he is punished by Cameron Ross at the 49-yard line. A gain of 4 at 2nd and 6.
We'll give up 4 yards all the way down the field as long as that clock keeps rolling.
It does with 7:20 to go in the ball game. Benton leading 24-10. It's West Memphis going to send 3 receivers to the short side, 1 to the open field. McConnell looks short side, throws for Holloway, off his fingertips. Kelby Caffrey in coverage for Benton, and now it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Blue Devils.
Boy, that was great up and down coverage right there. Had Caffrey over the top and Devin Griffin underneath. Just a great job by the Panther defense.
And that West Memphis O-line doing a good job against this defensive front of Benton.
7:11 to go in the fourth quarter. 24-10 Panthers lead. 3rd down and 6 for the Blue Devils at their own 49-yard line. 3 receivers to the wide side. Going to give it to Jatavian Thomas, and Thomas going to be stopped short of the first down. Boy, Bryce Gallagher has done a great job tonight moving to that middle linebacker, and he tackles him 3 yards shy of the stick, Terry.
Yeah, and it sets up a really big 4th down right here, because if the Panthers can hold right here, this could be when the air goes out of the balloon.
Could be a back-breaking stop for that Panther defense. 4th down and 3. The Panther fans across the way on their feet, exhorting the defense as McConnell going to keep running right. He's got the first down, and McConnell going to be down to the Benton 35-yard line. Boy, he is not swift, Terry, but effective, and we've got a marker thrown after the play as McConnell came up jawing.
Yeah, that was that's going to be an unsportsmanlike. They'll get the first down. They'll back them up another, I guess it's 15.
Yeah, it'll be 15. He's not swift, but he's got a swift mouth, and that mouth hurt his football team right there because that was completely unnecessary.
Well, and we can't keep giving up these long runs to a quarterback that is probably not a sub-5-0 guy.
Well, you're right, but nobody had the quarterback. Everybody had everybody else covered up.
And you don't expect that from him. But we're going to have to account for him because he's been a big part of their offensive production here.
Dead ball personal foul against West Memphis. It is first down Blue Devils, but the penalty's going to move it all the way back to midfield. They had the first down at the Benton 35-yard line. And the
he punched a player in the head.
Ball at midfield. First down and 10 for the Panthers, or for the Blue Devils. McConnell drops back, throws for Holloway, incomplete. Kelby Caffrey in coverage, and now the Blue Devil fans barking, Terry.
Well, there was a little bit of contact down there, and it caused Holloway to fall down, and Holloway, and I think that's what they were yelling at. But the ball was a little bit non-catchable. It was over his head.
John, you saw a punch on that personal
foul? Yeah, the
foul?
Fidelity Local 6 replay got that from the quarterback. He wasn't jawing. He hit one of our play through a punch.
Second down and 10 for West Memphis at midfield. Owens McConnell drops back, throws over the head of Holloway, incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Well, you saw the pressure get to him that time, and he's a little bit frustrated because of the previous play. And big 3rd down right here.
Glad none of us are wearing maroon. Or that hat. You might want to take that off when you leave. This crowd's getting hostile.
Panthers take Gavin Davis out, bring Garrett Body in as the nickelback. 3rd down and 10. It's McConnell sacked. He is sacked. He is sacked by Kelby Caffrey back at the 45-yard line. Caffrey, 3rd sack of the season for Kelby, and it's 4th and 15.
Boy, and now we've got another knucklehead play.
And you saw it after the play, the whistle blown, and he continued to block, and Dylan Ferguson was asking for some kind of help on that.
Frustration setting in on the West Memphis side of the field as we'll see our second personal foul against the Blue Devils on this drive, and it'll be 4th down and 30, and unsportsmanlike is going to be the call. And they are going to assess that from where the flag is thrown, guys. No, they're going to move it to the 30-yard line
Well,
so it is going to be 4th down and 30, Blue Devils.
It's not the first time we've seen an undefeated team lose their poise and get a bunch of unsportsmanlike penalties when they're behind, and we've been on the receiving end of that before, and you kind of understand their frustration with that. But, the officials have got to call that. I mean, you cannot let that sort of stuff go, and West Memphis just losing their poise here when they had a pretty good drive going.
So 4th down and 30 for the Blue Devils. Caden Smith is back to punt. Jatavius Tucker will be the deep snapper. Benton putting nobody back deep as Smith punting into the wind. There is the punt. The wind going to knock it down as it hits at the Benton 47. Takes a Blue Devil roll down to the 36-yard line. And that's where it is going to be down by Marquise Hayes. But it's Benton football with 5:47 to go in the ball game, and the Panthers leading 24-10. Boy, Dio, you have been able to experience the momentum on the Panthers sideline this whole second half.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, when they came out, they carried their coach's attitude. We heard it in the coach's interview coming out of halftime. That was the most fired up we've heard Brad Harris at a halftime, and the team's carried its entire second half, and West Memphis over there basically imploding. So look to see him keep it on the ground here and let Zach Wallace just run it down their throats.
Been a confident Panther team in this second half as they give it off to Zach, and Zach is going to be hit very, very hard at the 38-yard line by Curtis Hill, the middle linebacker for West Memphis, and it'll be 2nd down and 9 for the Panthers with 5:30 to go in the ball game.
Boy, that was a stroke there by the middle linebacker. He's 5'8", 225, and he really laid a lick on Zach.
2nd down and 9, Panthers. Panthers going to work that snap clock. It's down to 10 seconds and counting. Slaughter going to line up to the right. Now motion to the left. Snap with 3 seconds, and now a marker and a false start against Benton. John, they were milking that clock right down to the final second.
Something they're really not used to doing. They're used to going fast, and they're going to have to focus here. This is where that mental clarity, mental toughness comes in.
2nd down and 13 following the false start penalty against the Panthers. As the clock winds, under 5 minutes to go. Panthers option to the left, pitch to Wallace. Wallace with no running room as he, continues to churn those legs. Curtis Hill made contact with him behind the line of scrimmage, but Zach able to pick up 5 yards running hard on the outside.
Boy, he sure was. They really kind of stood him up there at the line of scrimmage, and he just bulldozed his way back to the 40-yard line.
Brad Harris said we needed to see the Zach Wallace of the first 7 weeks of the season, and we have certainly seen that in this ball game, especially in this second half. It's 3rd down and 7 for Benton as Colin Morrow throws. Braxton Slaughter with the catch. Slaughter with the 1st down. He's carrying Cordell Finner into West Memphis territory down to the 47.
Boy, that's a great job by the junior that time. Braxton Slaughter just fighting his way over to the sidelines.
Yeah, and if the official hadn't have been there, he might have got a couple more yards as the official goes down.
Does the official get a pancake there?
No, not hard. I think he got pancaked.
13 yards on the reception for Slaughter. Benton 1st down and 10 at the Blue Devil 48. Clock stops to move the chains with 4:10 to go, and Benton leading 24-10. Panthers go to the heavy package. Carroll and Watkins, the twin snifferbacks to the right. Snap to Wells, and Wells is going to be hog-collared by Mark Robinson, who slings him forward to the 46-yard line.
Well, you can tell they've just decided the seniors out there on that field have decided that if they're going to be in this, they're just going to punish people.
Yeah.
Boy, Gavin has been one tough Panther tonight as he picked up 2 yards on that play. 2nd down and 8, and the Panther offense in absolutely no hurry with 3:35 to go. Snap clock at 13. Wells continues at quarterback. Panthers in the heavy package. Twin H-backs to the right as Wells fakes to Wallace. Wells keeps, spins, carries Blue Devils down inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. And now Billy Elmore with 3 timeouts is going to use one of them with 3:16 to go. And the Panthers leading 24-10, facing a 3rd down and 2 at the West Memphis 40-yard line. As the Panther sideline continues to cheer and the Panther fans all excited, and we go down once again to D.O.
Well, down here talking to Coach Nethery, and he said, this is one time I want to win time of possession. I figured you guys would all appreciate that because we all know the best AD in the state, he doesn't care about time of possession because that doesn't affect what's on the scoreboard. You score quick, so I like what he just said as he walked up. But he came down out of the confines of the press box down here with us common media folk and decided to take in some of this energy down here that this team is generating on the sidelines.
Congratulations to the Bryan Hornets, 28-7 winners tonight. The Hornets will play for a 7A state championship a week from tomorrow.
Oh, it is.
Greenwood knocks off Sylvan Hills 31-10. So Greenwood will be in the 6A state championship game against the winner of this one. 3:16 to go. Benton leads 24-10. Morrow back in at quarterback, gives to Zach Wallace, and Zach's got the first down. That's a 3rd down conversion. First down Panthers at the Blue Devil 34.
Jim, 6A, 7A, is that a back-to-back game? Is that right?
Yeah, 6A at noon, 7A at 6:30. So I'm thinking we're 3 minutes away from a Shane Broadway production a week from Saturday. You know, a little Saline County tailgate between games?
Yeah. I could see it. I could support it.
We got 3 minutes to get off that scoreboard until that can be possible. As Colin Morrow hands off to DeAnthony Harper. Harper bends to the left. Kendarius Moore is going to tackle him at the 30-yard line, but that's a gain of 4, and it keeps that clock running, John.
Do we have an update on the other 7A playoff game?
Run around the left side.
North Little Rock
on the play, 2nd and 6.
Was the favorite. We'll see.
We are efforting.
We're efforting. Yeah, North Little Rock was leading 34-17.
Clock down to 2:15, and the Panther offense just continuing to milk that clock. West Memphis with 2 timeouts remaining. Morrow brings Wells in motion, fake to him, give to DeAnthony Harper, and DeAnthony trying to patiently find a crease, unable to do so as he's going to pick up just 2 yards, and it'll be 3rd down and 4, and now Billy Elmore takes a timeout.
Yeah, we're a little bit out of field goal range here. Boy, it would be nice to get within that field goal range.
It would.
I just want to see that 157 run off that clock. I'm not greedy for points. I'm greedy for that clock to run out.
And for our listening audience, for us to have a 14-point lead and we're still nervous about 1 minute and 57 seconds on the clock is a testament and a compliment to our respect for what we've seen on film of this West Memphis offense, because I'll tell you, they are the most explosive team that we've faced this year. And for the Panther defense to be holding them to 10 points is outstanding.
And it's also a short memory of what we experienced last week.
It is.
We found out in 2 minutes a lot can happen.
That's exactly right.
So 3rd down and 4, Benton at the West Memphis 28. Benton leads it 24-10 with 1 minute 57 seconds to go. Zach Wallace is going to be back in at running back for the Panthers. Wells in motion. Give to Wallace running right. And Zach is going to be dropped short of the first down at the 27-yard line. And West Memphis is going to take their final timeout.
Well, this is a big play for the Panther offense, because with West Memphis out of timeouts, 4 yards here, John, and it's ball game.
Well, and you'd like to be about 4 yards closer, even if that didn't get you the first down, because it would get you within that field goal range and give you a 3-score lead. But
Panthers have had a lot of success with that option tonight.
They have, yeah. That's probably a good call.
So it'll be 4th down, and they're going to actually call it 3. 4th down and 3 Benton at the West Memphis 27-yard line. With 1:52 to go, West Memphis out of timeouts. And the Panthers lead it 24-10 as some Blue Devil fans making their way to the exits, Terry.
They are.
That's.
I hope they know something that we don't.
Yeah, me too.
So the Panther offense comes back out. James Durling, Henry Hicks, Joshua George, Austin Jones, Jensen White. Those guys have done yeoman's work on the line tonight. Michael Allison and Garrett Body split out. Colin Morrow to take the snap. Gavin Wells, Zach Wallace in the backfield. Give to Wallace running left. Wallace to Daylight. Wallace to the end zone. And the Panthers drop the hammer with 1:44 to go. It is 30-10 Benton.
That's a fitting ending to this game. Zach Wallace for the score.
Wow, what a great play call. I don't know that I've seen that play this year. I mean, it wasn't anything exciting.
No.
It was just a standard sweep to the left-hand side.
Well executed and a lot of misdirection.
Two backs with an H-back, Slaughter and Wells blocking outstanding to lead Wallace to the end zone. Garrett Eason's line drive, PAT is no good. But with 1:44 to go, it is 30-10 Panthers, and we go down to the Benton sideline and D.O.
Well, what can I say about my pick to click, Zach Wallace? I can't really say anything more than he just did his job, and I'm proud that I picked him because Terry has dominated all year, and I figure the playoffs as good a time as any that I start scoring. But how about this Panther team really coming alive the second half, guys? I mean, the emotions over here on the sideline have been phenomenal this entire second half, and they've just rode that wave. I mean, what a dominant performance, scoring 3 times the scoring average against this West Memphis defense. Shows you how tough this offense really is.
And in a game like this, you've got East versus West. They're not real familiar with each other. They've not seen them playing other opponents and watched film against them all year and all of that. This was a coaching battle too. And I don't want to take anything away from the players because they're the ones on the field. But the guys getting them ready, the adjustments that Brad Harris made, the gutsy calls that makes you either a hero or a goat. Why would you come out and onside kick it tied up? Well, because we want to win the game.
Yeah.
And he did it twice, and that's really the difference. And so you got to give some credit here to this coaching staff in getting their players ready and putting them in a position to get this big win.
In 11 games, the most points West Memphis had given up all season was 23. Panthers with 30 on the board tonight against a very, very vaunted Blue Devil defense. As Garrett Eason's kickoff is a squibber that's going to be fielded at the 10-yard line. That's Holloway. Holloway dropped the football, and there's a pile up as the ball squirts free again. I believe West Memphis falls on it at the 31-yard line, and that's where they'll have it 1st and 10 with 1:35 to go and out of timeouts.
This game has been kind of chippy,
yeah.
And we really need for this Panther defense, look, just do your job. Do not get caught up in any extracurricular activity. We don't need an ejection or anything crazy that's going to affect the next game. No crazy injuries or anything like that. Look, just come out, do your job, blinders on to any kind of after the tackle activity.
And a nickel defense.
Oh, they need to stay with that.
Garrett Body is locked up on Devin Holloway. 1st down and 10 for West Memphis as McConnell is going to throw for Phillips. Terry Jones in coverage, and the marker comes in and a pass interference against Terry.
Yeah, that was an easy call. Terry never even attempted to hold back. He just he felt like he was beat, and he just pushed the receiver, and they're going to call that every time.
But, I'm okay with that. You'd rather give up, a penalty yardage than a completion all the way down the field and maybe a touchdown. He couldn't get turned around, and he had good position on him if he could have got his head around.
And I can tell you, Rusty Davis and Brad Harris, that was part of what they told the guys in the walkthrough this morning. Look, if you're beat, take the PI.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll give them 15 yards. Let's not give them 80. And so Terry Jones called for the pass interference, moves the football to the 47, and it is 1st down and 10 for West Memphis following the pass interference penalty. McConnell going to air it out to Jimmy Phillips, and he overthrows him. Ball lands harmlessly on the turf at the 20. Devin Griffin, though, great coverage, Terry, for the Benton secondary.
Man, he's been great coverage all night. Even Senator-elect Kim Hammer would be happy with that coverage.
Well, and Matt Beck, our Benton Touchdown Club, Benton Football Network, our webmaster, the guy that brings you the best sports website in the state of Arkansas with an update, North Little Rock up big.
2nd down and 10 for West Memphis as McConnell rose to the left, throws for Phillips. That ball knocked away by Devin Griffin. What outstanding coverage by the senior cornerback.
Man, I'm just telling you guys, that dude is a player. That was excellent coverage. The receiver broke down, and he broke down with him and made the adjustment and came back to the ball to knock it down. Beautiful play.
10th pass breakup of the season for Devin. It's 3rd down and 10 for the Blue Devils. Owens McConnell drops back. He throws, catch by Holloway, and Holloway's going to have the 1st down to the Benton 38-yard line. Garrett Body in coverage for the Benton defense. Stops the clock momentarily to move the chains with 1:12 to go.
It's enough for a 1st down.
Well, we need a sack right here. We need somebody to get to that quarterback and sack him.
McConnell ball snapped through his legs. He has to fall on it back at the 46-yard line, and that's going to keep that clock rolling, and West Memphis can't stop it.
And that's why I wanted the sack, because that'll keep that clock rolling. They have to get their receivers back on the line of scrimmage.
And they're not in a big hurry to get back.
That was the next best thing, is an air sack.
Yeah.
It's the clock now at 40 seconds and counting. 2nd down and 18. McConnell rose to the right, sets and throws. Jatavius Tucker makes the catch down to the Benton 31-yard line. It's Terry Jones and makes the tackle for the Benton defense.
That's a good catch by Tucker and good awareness to get himself out of bounds. He's one of the leaders on this offense, and you can see that senior leadership right there.
3rd down and 3 for West Memphis. With 32 seconds to go, McConnell rose to his left, throws, and he throws short of Mason Kearney. It's incomplete, and it'll be 4th down and 4.
Well, he had Dylan Ferguson applying pressure right there, and had him rattled, he threw that one right into the dirt.
So 4th down and 3, and the Panther defense is going to call a timeout and go over and assemble with Brad Harris as we try to we're in a full debate up here for the Cornerstone Home Lending MVP. Yeah. Boy, it's a tough call tonight because you've got a lot of worthy candidates.
Man, you really do. And well, Terry Jones is another guy who made some big plays in there tonight. We could do 3, Jim, because it's playoff. You've also got Garen Easton, your kicker, who's made some big plays in there. So, well, it's a tough one. It's too bad we can't do one of those online polls, you know, where people.
Oh, one of those tweet polls?
Yeah.
Well, we could say it. We could say it, and I bet we'll get 15 text messages here in the next.
My phone's about to start. We shouldn't have started that, but that's okay. I'm planning on plenty of messages here, but
there came the first one from Chris Ramsey, and I like his thinking. The entire defense has been outstanding tonight. Is a throw to Mason Kearney. That's going to be a West Memphis 1st down. Is Kearney going to be down inside the 20-yard line? Garrett Body doing a great job at nickelback, makes the tackle. 21 seconds to go, and they stop the clock to move the chains. McConnell rose to the right. McConnell throws, and the catch, Jatavius Tucker. Touchdown, West Memphis. Touchdown, West Memphis with 11 seconds to go, and it's 30-16.
I'm getting Eason. I'm getting Jones.
Wells, the entire defense, Gavin.
Well, I'm going to have to go with my good friend Kim Leach here. She says the O-line, but she also mentioned Garrett Eason. Maybe we just go with 4 MVPs tonight. I don't know if Dio will go for that or not. Does he have to buy them all dinner?
Why don't we let Tony Linehan break all the ties?
Blame the guy from the newspaper.
Yeah. Is Colin Clark on to attempt the extra point with 11 seconds to go? Panthers, I believe, jumped offside. Is West Memphis able to score with 11 seconds remaining? I'm going to give a quick shout out too. Our buddy, the voice of the Russellville Cyclones, Mickey Duval, told me today on the drive up here that Benton would win 30-14. I want you to look at that score.
That's what you call a bad beat. That'll make Sports Center on Monday night.
I'm going to tell you, Mickey just about nailed the thing exactly.
Somebody just texted me Dio. I don't know why. He's not an MVP candidate. It's because of his rain outfit, I think. Some sort of a fashion award.
As Colin Clark boots through the extra point with 11 seconds to go. Man, there are so many worthy candidates. We talked about the offensive line has to have their best game in several weeks. They did.
Well, they've certainly done that in the second half. They've owned this game in the second half.
What if we went O-line plus Gavin and a special teams award to the kicker?
I'm with you.
All right. I knew.
But can we get Terry Jones in with Garrett Eason? Because he recovers both of those, and he's a senior. Man,
as we look on the, as Matt Jones at Fidelity Local 6 give us the Dio Vanucci MVP, the pump up here.
I mean, his inseam is like 20 inches off of the ground.
If that. Reminds me, well.
Wasn't there a Michelin Man reference in the text messages earlier tonight? So
listen, you guys can leave my rain outfit alone. I don't see you guys volunteering to stand out here. I mean, hey, I took my lumps, and I told Matt, I said, take me off camera until I get these dadgum pants off.
Colin Clark kicks off. It's going to be fielded by Gavin Wells. And Gavin going to run to daylight down the West Memphis sideline. He's going to be finally tackled by the kicker, Colin Clark, with exactly 1 second to go at the West Memphis 35.
Wow, what a game by the Panthers.
1 second remaining, and Benton is going to win this football game tonight over West Memphis.
And the only person right now that's not happy is is our sideline, our partner in broadcast, Grace Bowling. I just texted her, O-line, Garrett Eason, Devin Griffin. It's a lot of players to wrangle up after a big win. This is a formation I like best.
The victory formation, and as John often points out, it will be in the shotgun. Colin Morrow takes a knee, and look at the Panthers celebrate for the second time in 5 years. Your Benton Panthers will go to the state championship game. Benton defeats West Memphis tonight 30-17, and next Saturday at high noon, December 1st, in War Memorial Stadium, it will end for the Panthers in the same place where it began.
Yeah.
Benton will play for a state championship. Congratulations to Brad Harris. Congratulations to the Benton coaching staff. Congratulations to the Benton Panthers on a very well-deserved 30-17 semifinal win here tonight in West Memphis. We'll take a commercial break and come back with our Bethel Smiles Family Dentistry postgame show. We'll have our Cornerstone Home Lending MVPs, and it might wind up being all 92 of them tonight. As Benton defeats West Memphis 30-17, the Panthers will play for a championship next Saturday. We'll be back in 2 minutes here on 106.7 The Ride and Fidelity Local 6.
Saline County is one of the fastest growing areas in the entire country. The state's best schools, thriving businesses, family-friendly communities, and the great outdoors combine to make our home both exceptional and uniquely local. At Saline Health System, we deliver care that's as extraordinary as our home. With the most advanced technology and a team of doctors and nurses who know you by name, we're here to provide the care you deserve. Because around here, local is always extraordinary. Saline Health System.
At Farmers Bank and Trust, our commitment is and always will be to the community. Our loan officers are your supporters, your cheerleaders, your fans, your neighbors. And we're proud to cheer on our Benton Panthers. For more information on Farmers Bank and Trust, stop by our conveniently located office or visit myfarmers.bank.
Benucci here with head coach Brad Harris. All right, Brad, this is...
At this time of year, the best way to experience Benton is to be a Benton Panther football fan. The city of Benton is very proud to be one of the sponsors of the 2018 season. The student body is ready, the pep steppers are ready, the cheerleaders are ready, the marching band is ready, the players are ready, Coach Harris and his staff are ready, and the city of Benton is ready for a drive to a state championship. Experience Benton and support the Benton Panthers. Go Panthers!
This is Kim Hammer, State Senator-elect for District 33. I want to give a special shout-out to the Benton Panthers for their win over the Jonesboro Hurricane. Turned them into a tropical depression at the end of the game, and tonight we're going to play the West Memphis Blue Devils. I want to give a special shout-out to Michael Allison for last week's game in which he had 6 receptions for 97 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Kelby Caffrey with 3 interceptions and 10 tackles. With that kind of playing, we'll go on tonight to beat the West Memphis Blue Devils and go on and take the state championship. Go Panthers.
You've heard about the Everett difference when buying a car, but you also experience that difference when you need service. Our state-of-the-art facilities, GM certified technicians, and courtesy transportation are just the beginning. We've even got Bo on the job, making sure everything's done right. But be sure to keep an eye on your complimentary snacks. It's a better way to buy and a better service experience when you need it. That's Everett Buick GMC and everettbuickgmc.com.
That's a happy group of Benton Panthers visiting with head coach Brad Harris. You see Freddie Reinhardt, the #1 fan of the Panthers, right there over Coach Harris's right shoulder. I'm sure Freddie's going to get a word in. Dio's down there ready to visit with head coach Brad Harris, who has led his Panthers to the state championship game. Benton defeats West Memphis tonight 30-17. And the Panthers will face Greenwood Saturday, December 1st at high noon. Greenwood defeated Sylvan Hills tonight 31-10. Later that day at 6:30 p.m., a week from tomorrow, the Bryant Hornets will go for a state championship against North Little Rock as Bryant defeated Fort Smith Northside tonight 28-7. And so the Salt Bowl participants are going to end the season where they started it. Terry, what an exciting, exciting day it's going to be a week from Saturday.
Boy, it sure is, and it's so exciting that the Panther faithful get to show up and be a part of a huge ball game again. And, you know, hey, congratulations to the Bryant Hornets for also making the state championship game. So it's going to be a Saline County night.
So the Panthers celebrate in a tip of the hat to West Memphis's young man who went over and led a prayer with the Panthers. What we didn't share with the folks back in Benton is it's been a heavy-hearted West Memphis team. They lost one of their young ladies on Thanksgiving Eve in a car accident, very popular young lady who started on their basketball team. And so our condolences to the Turner family and all those in West Memphis who are grieving. The Panthers are celebrating, though, and we go down to the sideline. Dio's got Brad Harris.
Thanks, Jim. After an emotional roller coaster of a game last week, you guys come into West Memphis feeling like the underdogs, but now we're headed to the ship, Coach. What do you got to say?
Hey, we'll be the underdog again next week. That'll be fine with us because we're playing for it right now. Extremely proud of these guys, man. They did a tremendous job. Thought we had a good week of practice. We came out here in the first half and we battled a team 3-3. All right, and, you know, we knew we had some things that we could take advantage of in the second half, and we really liked our run game. And, guys, the offensive line did a tremendous job. Zach Wallace, DeAnthony Harper, those guys, they won it in the second half for us, okay? Great job up front. That's a team that's only given up 116 all year, very few rush yards, and our guys got after it. You know, I like our chances next week against Greenwood if we can play like that. Defensively, I thought we played extremely well. We got a little tired at the end, gave up a couple plays right there, but, you know, we hung on. Big 30-10 win, man. So excited, so proud of these guys, man.
It was a huge win, and really, what was the difference in the team? I mean, what did you tell these guys at halftime? Because they came out, they were a completely different team in the second half. I mean, what was it? Just the play calling, that onside kick, get it kick-started, or what happened?
Well, you know, we really just talked, Dio, at halftime about we really felt like we were just missing, and it's coming off some blocks on the offensive line. We felt like our defense played extremely well, and that's what we told our offense guys. Hey, let's go score a couple right here, because defense, we're playing really well in the box, and we knew they wanted to run the football first. We did a heck of a job on number 25 tonight and didn't give him the big play. We had a couple different packages for him, so extremely proud of the defensive guys there. But halftime coming out, we knew I wanted to have the win in the fourth quarter at our back. We was going to kick into it. We'd worked all week on the little onside that you saw right there, knowing they had a big hole in their coverage. Thought if we could get a couple of speed guys there and tumble it over their center, we'd have a chance at it. It worked great in practice. We was just hoping it would work, and, you know, they gave us the same look the second time, so we thought, why not again, you know? So it was a great job. They executed perfect. We're proud of them.
Man, heck of a win, Coach. Can't wait till next weekend.
Yes,
all right, guys. I think I'm going to try. Well, they're going through the line. Our MVPs are all going through the line. I don't want to stop them from doing that, but
hey,
here we go.
Dio, grab Freddie real quick right there by you.
Hey, Freddie, come over here.
I want to know what's going through Freddie's mind right now.
Freddie, what are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking of a state championship. I want one.
There, you heard it from the number one Panther fan right there. We want a state championship because we want one. All right, let's get over here to these big dogs right here. The trench mob. These guys have plowed the way. Listen, you guys were our offensive cornerstone MVPs of the game. And let me tell you something, fellas. Coming into this game, all of us were talking about how this game was going to really come down to offensive line play. West Memphis has the best defensive line you guys faced all year, but yet you guys dominated them all night long. I'm gonna come over to Josh George, because you're the center and you're the vocal guy. You talk a lot, so we're going to talk to you. What was it that motivated you guys tonight? I mean, what was the difference for you guys?
I mean, they talked a lot of smack. The coach said that we weren't a good team, or we were a good team, but we weren't a great team. We just wanted to come out here and show out that we're the best, and we have a chance to win. And
yeah, yes, you did. Good job, guys. Hold on. All right, now let's come over here. Defensive MVP, Devin Griffin. Dev, good job all night. I don't think you had a single pass completed on your side of the field. Garrett, come over here, buddy. Come over here. Slide over here. So what was the deal? You guys played lights out on defense tonight. Tell us what you guys were doing. What were the emotions in the second half you guys were going through?
We had all the momentum going in the second half, 3-3, and we just took off from there. Got that good onside kick from Garrett Eason. After that, it was ball game.
There you go. All right, let's talk to Garrett Eason. Garrett, good job. So, you know, we haven't been we're not a big onside kicking team, but tonight, you know, coaches saw something in that coverage. But you kicked two absolutely perfect onside kicks. Tell us what was going through your head when they called that second one. I want to know what you were thinking on the second one.
Well, we worked it all week, and it worked first time, and I walked up, and he looked at me and said, why not do it again? So I just figured we'd do it again, and it'd work, and it did.
Well, you sparked the team, really gave some good momentum to that second half, so congratulations. Good job tonight. Good job kicking off, too. All right, guys, back to you.
Dio, appreciate it so much, and I will be honest, you know, we have a lot of banter back and forth about us being in the box and you being on the field. Tonight in the elements, I envy the spot you had tonight, being down there and getting to experience all that enthusiasm and momentum on the sideline.
And it was such a hard thing to call the MVPs tonight. Terry Jones is another guy that you not ever going to be able to talk about this game, Terry, and not talk about Terry Jones. And then Gavin Wells is just a very special player, and you could make a case for him as an MVP almost every single week.
Well, that was arguably that play that we said mark it, because
that sparked it.
Yeah, that was a huge play in this ball game and really gave a lot of momentum to the Panthers. And just what a fantastic team win tonight for the Benton Panthers. And Now it sets up the big game next week, fellas.
It does, and the Panthers will get a rematch with Greenwood. That didn't go so well the first time around, but hey, that's why they play the games. Bryant North Little Rock will be a rematch, and the 5A game, PA and Little Rock Christian, also a rematch next weekend.
You know, I think that every single one of those players, when they left Greenwood, wanted to play them again for the state championship. I think every single one of those players wanted that. I think every single one of the broadcasters wanted that, because it was a given that they were going to go undefeated the rest of the year, because they had been the best team that we had faced.
Well, and Jensen White called it. His dad said, look, when he walked off the field, he said, that's all right, we'll see him again in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And this team knew this was their destiny and that they were going to get another crack.
And I believe that this team believes they can beat Greenwood, but they know they have to execute, and they didn't execute at all in the first match.
Well, there's two things. We've never beat Greenwood. We never won at War Memorial. Well, not that I can remember.
Little Rock Parkview last year.
I guess that's
slipped that one. So
yeah, I mean it
hadn't been a good place
in a big game, in a Salt Bowl or a state championship or anything else. You know, it's those are two things that have sort of been our albatrosses.
No question. As we look at the final stats tonight, Benton wins 30-17. And how about those rush yards? 267 yards rushing for the Panthers. Zach Wallace carried the ball 31 times tonight, guys, for exactly 100 yards. Panthers just kind of gave up on the passing game in the second half, but they didn't need it because that offensive line was just so dominant. Benton 351 yards of total offense. West Memphis 290. How about those third down conversions? 8 of 18 for the Panther offense tonight and 3 of 4 on fourth down conversions. And with a tip of the hat to Scott Nethery, Benton won the time of possession tonight, 25-51 to 22-09.
Those are some powerful numbers, fellas. I don't know when the last time I saw a Benton offense just completely take over and dominate the second half on the ground. I mean, literally just ran the ball down their throats and took the game over.
I would think Lake Hamilton in 2014. I mean, I got to go back a long ways to when we really had a team on the ropes and we just pounded them like that for an entire half.
So the Panthers will play in the state championship game 1 week from tomorrow at 12 noon in War Memorial Stadium against the Greenwood Bulldogs. And I tell you, this has been fun kind of scrolling through all these messages we've been getting from Chad Hooten and our friends at Hootens.com. You can get all your final scores tonight over there at Hootens.com. David Wallace, appreciate hearing from him. Mickey Duval, Tony Stowers, our great friend who was a part of our broadcast crew in 2014 when we had the Panthers in the state championship. Benji White, and
Brian
former
Black.
Panther, Brian Black. Yeah, Brian with a great picture tonight. Just so many folks chiming in, so many folks excited, John, about Benton football.
Absolutely, from my mom and dad's house at the end of Peeler Bend Road all the way to who knows who and where. We had a big coverage audience tonight, and it's great.
Yeah, my father-in-law, who always follows the Panthers, had a motorcycle accident the day after the Cabot game, was in the hospital for 64 days. Tonight was his first night to watch since his motorcycle accident. And, boy, what a fun one to watch tonight. The state championship games will be broadcast by our Fidelity Local 6 broadcast team on AETN. Because the AAA has the broadcast rights by video to the state championships, our broadcast through the Benton Panther Football Network at the state championship will be radio only. Next Saturday on 106.7 FM The Ride. Our pregame show will begin at 11:30 a.m. next Saturday, December 1st. Now, I did check with Brad Harris and Scott Nethery on the way up here. Benton will be the visiting team in the state championship game. So, Panther fans, you will sit on the east side of War Memorial Stadium next Saturday for the state championship game. We want you to take your earbuds and listen. We'll have the broadcast on 106.7 The Ride. If you cannot get to War Memorial Stadium next Saturday, tune in and follow along with us. Want to remind you that all of the rest of the state championship games you can view live on AETN, and the production of those games will be brought to you by our outstanding Fidelity Local 6 broadcast crew. So our next broadcast of Benton Panther football on 106.7 The Ride will come your way next Saturday, December 1st, from War Memorial Stadium as the Panthers face the Greenwood Bulldogs in the Class 6A state championship game. Our pregame coverage with the Everett Buick GMC Panther pregame show will begin at 11:30, and kickoff is set for 12 noon. For Terry Benham, John Penn, Dio Vanucci, and Grace Bowling, for the best director in Arkansas high school football, Matt Johnson, who got to West Memphis today at 10:30 with his crew.
Great job,
Matt. Awesome. Mason Woolbright, Jonathan Webb in production, Barrett Pfeiffer on replay, Morgan Garrett on graphics. For our camera crew, Michael Gober, Kendrick Ollison, and Marcus Robinson. Terry, they don't get any better than that group right there.
No, sir. Nowhere in the state of Arkansas will you find a better crew than that.
And nobody works harder. DVD copies of every Benton Panther game this year are available for $15 and can be purchased online at FidelityLocal6.com. A very special thank you to Laura Pegay, who's done a great job as Director of Sales for the Benton Panther Football Network this year, to Steve Johnson and Leslie Griffin from Signal Media, to Scott Nethery, the Athletic Director of the Benton School District, and to the #1 fan of the Benton Panthers, Freddie Reinhardt. I'm Jim Gardner. Thanks for joining us tonight. Again, tonight's final score, Benton 30, West Memphis 17. Until next Saturday in the state championship game, good night, God bless, and go Benton.